Curling Tour Championship goes to London, Ontario. The best in the world have stepped forward the first 2 weeks. In week 1, a battle of Manitoba and 2 world champions in the final. Jeff Stoughton, the world's best in 96, battled hard to keep it close. But in the end, it was 95 champion Carrie Burtnick with a cool draw to the 4 and a 5-4 win at the Molson Winnipeg Classic. Week 2 in Sault Ste. Marie, an intense battle between former teammates. Russ Howard in fine voice against curling's Mr. October, Wayne Meade, who won his 20th straight and $15,000 at the Regal Capital Curling Classic. Great teams, great curling as the GMC World Curling Tour continues from London. A gorgeous late October day in London, Ontario, southwestern Ontario, on display at the Highland Country Club, one of the finest places to golf and curl in the area. We're here for the M&M Meets Charity Classic, part of the GMC World Curling Tour. Hi, everybody. I'm Rob Falls alongside Ed Lukowich. We're in the CTV Sportsnet version of the Butler cabin right here, and I think we can try to get him, not a green jacket, we're going to give him your jacket, whoever wins this weekend. 16 teams came to London, 16 very strong teams, Ed.
Oh, it's been such a tough event so far. What a tour event. And some of the top teams like Olympian Mike Harris and two-time world champion Ed Warnick didn't even qualify into the final 8.
Let's take a look at the quarterfinals from this morning. You see the names O'Leary and McCready, Meade, Moffat, Burtnyk, Patterson, and Peters and Stoughton. And this morning, Vic Peters against Jeff Stoughton, a Manitoba matchup. A good one, too, but it was an error that helped Jeff Stoughton make his way into the semis.
Here we pick up the last rock of Vic Peters in the 7th end. He's looking at an impossible 3. Doesn't get it quite right. Jeff Stoughton steals 2, goes up 7-3, and runs Vic Peters out of rocks in the 10th end.
Stoughton moves on with the 7-5 victory. Meanwhile, another cool Manitoban, Carrie Burtnick, in action against Scott Patterson of North Bay.
And here we see it in the 4th end, early in the game, but Burtnyk already jumping into a quick lead. Here he's got a shot for a 4-ender, moves into a 4-1 lead, and he cruises to a 7-2 victory.
So Burtnick moves on. That settled up the final 4. McCready, Meade, Burtnick, Stoughton. Earlier today here at Highland, it was Jeff McCready of Ottawa against Wayne Meade, and the man who finally ended Meade's winning streak, Jeff McCready, was in tough.
Yeah, he certainly was, and playing Wayne Meade here. Wayne Meade is 25-1 so far this year. Here in the 4th end, playing with only 3 players because of the 3rd man who's not there. He draws to the corner of the button to maintain a 4-1 lead at that point. And then here we go to the 7th end, and Wayne Meade, a hit in the game, playing a double here on those 2 red stones, and he makes it absolutely perfect. Goes on to steal 1 point there for a 7-2 lead, and no game here. He had it all the way.
Meade playing with Graham McCarroll, who was attending to an illness in the family. Meade, the first person through into another final. Is he going to pick up another check? Well, you know, one of these 2 teams, Burtnyk and Stoughton, would like to slow them down. Jeff Stoughton's foursome, they were able to watch the early semi-final for our Eastern region on CTV Sportsnet. Then they just kind of kicked back and had a nap. As for Carrie Burtnick, this is how he handled the stress leading into an important semi-final today. Well, he found a 2:20 tee-off time here at Highland, and he didn't seem to be bothered at all by the fact he was in a big money matchup later in the day. But watch his form here.
Here he is out on the golf course.
Form's good, but I think the result...
4!
Yeah, that's the curling version of hurry hard. 4, yelled Carrie Burtnick.
Well, I think that shot cost him a couple of strokes there, but he's going to be looking to get it back tonight.
So it is Burtnyk and Stoughton coming up tonight, and we spoke to the 2 skips on the kind of game we should expect to see.
Well, I know our team is going to try and be reasonably aggressive in the first few ends, and then of course the score dictates how things go out, after the first few ends. We'd like to try and get control of the game if we can. And, I imagine it'll be much the same for Jeff as well.
I think both teams are very aggressive early on. There's no doubt there's going to be a lot of rocks in play in the first 5 ends, and one of us is hoping for a big end to take a lead, and then it's basically, you're hanging on for the rest of the game. But So there should be lots of rocks in play and a lot of great shots made.
All right, there we go. Lots of rocks in play is a general consensus from these players. Stoughton lost to Burtnyk one time. Is there a revenge factor on his mind?
Jeff says that tonight is going to be a different decision. It's his game tonight, and really, they're really going to have to jump out and play well early.
Well, we'll wait to see as Jeff Stoughton tries to go against Carrie Burtnick. He's been on the losing end one time in Winnipeg, wants to change that all up in London, Ontario. We'll come back with the start of the second semifinal of the M&M Curling Classic on the GMC World Curling Tour.
It has the most powerful Vortec engine ever made. Four-wheel disc anti-lock brakes standard. And the largest, most comfortable cab we've ever built. The totally redesigned Sierra by GMC. Now that's a truck, I'll say.
Dinner shouldn't take longer to buy than it does to prepare. Everything it takes to make a meal like this, you can get in minutes. Small, fast, friendly, and helpful. M&M Meat Shops. Hundreds of quality meal ideas. One aisle.
An infinite number of monkeys on an infinite number of typewriters will eventually define all that is Canada.
Gentlemen, down south, we have trouble following your puck. So what we want to do is introduce this blue streak on screen every time someone passes the puck. And when they shoot it, red streak. Blue pass, red shoot. You get it, boys?
CTV Sportsnet's coverage of the GMC World Curling Tour is brought to you by GMC, makers of the totally redesigned Sierra and proud sponsor of the GMC World Curling Tour. By Molson, what beer's all about. And by M&M Meat Shop, hundreds of meal ideas all in one aisle.
Highland Country Club, the location as they get ready to do battle in the second semifinal. They're looking for somebody to play in Wayne Meade. Let's take a look at the ice conditions for this semifinal. Ed Lukwich.
Great ice tonight with ice maker Jim Champagne. He's been the ice maker for 8 years at the Highland Club here in London. Coming around center guards, we're looking for about 2 to 2.5 feet of curl there, and going from the inside out around a corner guard, about 3 feet of curl. When we look at the ice, there are some tricky spots right around the edge of the forefoot. When we go towards the inside out, it'll tend to run pretty straight. This is the keenest ice we've seen on the tour this year, so look for the ice to run hog to hog around 15.5 seconds. Back to you, Rob.
Jeff Stoughton will be playing the Red Stones. He has got the hammer, and beginning it will be Carrie Burtnick, who is playing the Yellow Stones. So Burtnick will start things off. It is Keith Fenton, the lead, Rob Meakin, the second, Jeff Ryan, the third, and Carrie Burtnick.
We spoke with Carrie Burtnick before the game, and he indicated that he was going to go right after it in the first end. He likes to play extremely aggressive. He wants to take his chances early in the game.
Easy.
So we're going to see him throw on center guard here and go right after some points in the first end.
Well, that being said, wasn't that exactly what Jeff Stoughton told us too before the thing? He was going to try to get some rocks in play, go right after it.
Well, we're in for a real treat tonight. Both of these teams like to play offense early in the game. They like to go after it. Both of them are determined to jump into an early lead. Now, a couple of weeks ago, Jeff didn't play up to par, and he lost the bragging rights in Manitoba to Carrie Burtnick in the television game we had there, but he's promised a different result tonight.
Doug Armstrong, the lead for the Stoughton foursome. Gary Vandenberg, the second. Jonathan Meade is the third, and Jeff Stoughton, the skip.
Good throw, Doug. Shot. Not hidden, but nice draw weight for his first effort.
Skips and thirds have microphones, so we can eavesdrop on strategy. Second stone for Keith Fenton.
Left-hander, always nice to have a lefty around just to add a little spice to the game. Nice move here at the end. He's coming tight to that guard. A little inside roll. Doug Armstrong leading the Doogie team, Dale Duguid team from last year where they were in the Brier and skip teams, and now he's playing with Stoughton.
Dale Duguid moving west, joining your old team in Vancouver.
Yeah, there was big shuffles in Manitoba this year. A lot of changes in the lineups, and Burtnyk, though, is one team that has just stayed together, and they know each other very well. They get along great. They went golfing the last 2 days. As a matter of fact, they went golfing and then came back and won their games 8-0 and 7-2. So they decided we better go back to the golf course because it's really working well.
Yeah, there was a Manitoba mix-up on every team except the Burtnyk force.
Line's good. It's curling a bit.
He wants to keep this guard pretty high. Doesn't want to set up a double. Quite a bit of move there.
Hey, Rob.
Well, in the earlier semifinal, Jeff McCready and Wayne Meade, they saw a lot of movement on that center line.
Yeah, it seems that even the further you go out, the wings on this ice are a little bit high. So you go out further to about the edge of the 8, and then you get more move towards the middle.
Kerry Vandenberg. He is using the unique throwing broom called the crutch. We'll talk more about that later. Especially designed by Gary.
Shot, Gary. Hit and roll to sit one. Oh boy.
Each team has 75 minutes to play with 2 timeouts of 1 minute apiece.
This is the spot inside out that can run quite straight. The wings are a little high. Sometimes there isn't a very big move here towards the sides, and you can see that one running fairly straight, coming a little at the end. Jeff sweeping the roll right over, and it goes out.
That's good here. Normal. No, just normal.
Jeff doesn't like the look of that Burtnyk Yellowstone right in front of the ring, so wants to remove it and save his shooter. Just quiet weight.
Hit. Great. Well. Good shot. Good shot, Gary.
Straight on and holds on to the red stone for a guard right on the center line.
Good shot. This way?
Okay.
Well, I'm sure Jeff wanted a little more roll than that. He's left that right on the very center line. Burtnyk says, yeah, we'll use it. We'll go in behind.
Now Jeff Ryan.
Yeah. Line. Just line. Whoa. Stay close. Whoa. Stay close. Stay real close. Oh, that's through.
Nice gradual curl, but they say lots of weight. The ice is a little keener than what they've played on the last couple of games. So there's a bit of an adjustment here weight-wise.
Well, do you want to tell them about our little matchup? Earlier today, we went out to test the ice. And
you and I, and of course...
Just not pushing out of the hack, just a straight throw.
Right from the hack, and I froze the back bumper.
I got to the hack, so I won. I think it was a technical. It was very, very difficult one. He almost brought the measurer out for that, but it just zipped through.
Oh yeah, it's very quick. Running around 15.5 seconds from on a draw from hog to hog, and around 26 to 27 seconds hog to tee.
Jonathan Meade coming out of the hack.
Got room. Whoa, you can. It's big. Wow. Close. Yep. Hard.
There, it's moving big now.
Hurry.
Can they sneak it by?
Oh,
no,
no.
a little rub. When the ice is that keen and slides that easy, the draws have to come wide, and then the sweeping or just the natural curl brings them over an awful lot at the end.
Play here? Yeah.
So it seems that as the ice is starting to keen up, we're starting to see more curl as well, more finish.
Whoa, off. Stay close.
He gets the hit and the outside roll. Jeff Ryan's brother Pat was in action this weekend at an international tournament. So the whole Ryan family continues to curl at a high level.
Yep, Pat Ryan won the event in Switzerland this weekend. I believe it was around a 10-4 victory, and he took first prize in Switzerland. So a nice trip over to Europe for Pat Ryan.
Close. Clean. Hip. Ball. Shot.
And as mentioned, at the Renault Trophy in Zurich, Pat Ryan over Roland Moser 9-3, 13,005 the first place money. For those that like the conversion, that's 15,000 Swiss francs.
In this first end, both teams wanted to get some offense going, but then they just started to hit and roll back and forth in the rings. For those that haven't been with us for the first telecast, Carrie Burtnick did undergo an operation this summer. Had a cyst in his head removed, and then had a leg graft to put the skin back. But he's back curling already. He's fine, and he's playing great. He won an event in Winnipeg already this year.
Yeah.
Just keeping it clean, wanting to hold it out there. Didn't want to roll on that and set up a draw freeze for Jeff Stoughton. It's great to see Kerry back playing. A lot of people were worried with him on the operation during the summer, but he pulled through it just fine, and he's back playing. And, you know, when he's hot, he's a tough guy to beat. 2
Brier titles, world champion, been to the Brier 3 times. Manitoba junior men's champion way back in '78. He's been to the provincials 16 times. And it's tough to get out of Manitoba. Runner-up twice in the last 2 years.
We'll see if Jeff Stoughton goes for the roll here, or if he's just happy to hit it on the nose and stay on the wings as well. Needs a little curl here at the end.
Okay, good.
And there it goes. It comes right in. Good shot.
Very tiny roll. Stoughton rink with the hammer.
On this one, I'm pretty sure we'll see Burtnyk attempting to get the roll. If he can roll right in behind the red, that may take away the blank. Nice toe slide. He's throwing that same delivery forever.
Clean. Off.
Doesn't look like an inside roll.
Not getting the curl he'd hoped for. It's a quick hit and stick. So the Burtnick stone is shot as Stoughton prepares to throw his final stone. So does he go blanking away?
Oh, he certainly wants to blank this end. In the earlier encounter in Winnipeg a couple of weeks ago, Jeff didn't have a good game. Missed a lot of routine shots for him and said that he wants to play a lot better tonight. Really wants to go after it.
Yep.
Clean.
Right up.
Just clean for the hit and roll on the blank.
Well, he does exactly what he wanted to do. Leaves a blank end. He holds on to the hammer. Second semi-final underway at the M&M Charity Classic in London.
It has the most powerful Vortec engine ever made. Four-wheel disc anti-lock brakes standard, and the largest, most comfortable cab we've ever built. The totally redesigned Sierra by GMC. Now that's a truck, I'll say.
The Transformer is definitely a better brush.
Come on, hard! The new quarter ahead makes it easier to sweep. 8-enders improve the bumper so it's practically unbreakable. The head adjusts right or left so you can sweep on either side of the rock. You can switch from synthetic to hair depending on ice conditions. The Transformer works for me.
Definitely the choice of champions.
The Transformer, available at fine sporting goods stores everywhere.
Break it down.
What's it really like?
Break it down.
This is our arena, admission is free. This is our ice time, no referee. Maybe not professional, chasing box way down the hill. So watch out when our home team gets to me. This is our beer. This is our beer.
Gorgeous fall night in London, Ontario, as they shine on the harvest moon. Stoughton and Burtnyk looking for a berth against Wayne Meade in the championship of this GMC World Curling event, the M&M Charity Classic. And Jeff Stoughton blanking the first end. So Carrie Burtnick has got his foursome ready to reload and start all over again. Keith Fenton in the hack.
We have two Manitoba world champions. I'll do Burtnyk first. 1995 Briar world champion. Won the Briar in Halifax over Brad Height. Then a couple weeks later won the Worlds in Brandon undefeated, where he made a double on his final stone to beat Gordon Muirhead of Scotland 4-2 in that world final. Just a great feat. Now, how about Stoughton?
Well, as the guard sets up nicely for Burtnyk, Jeff Stoughton is a Briar world champion from '96. In '96, Briar and Kamloops went 10-3 in the round robin, and then needed an extra end steal to beat Kevin Martin to take the Canadian title at the Worlds in Hamilton. Beat Warwick Smith of Scotland.
Wait only.
Two terrific curlers matching up.
Tons of room.
So every time they play, it's 1995 world champion against 96. It's always for bragging rights in Manitoba. Only this time they're playing it in Ontario.
For the right to face the '98 world champion.
Good. Good. Good, Doug.
Burtnyk placed the guard out in front of the rings, halfway on the center line. Stoughton comes around. Hack weight from Keith Fenton.
Good look at his face as he checks that line out all the way down.
Right off. Stay close. Right off. Yep. Come on, roll it out a bit.
Perfect hack weight, just moves it out of the rings.
Okay, Dougie. This bump's good.
Doug Armstrong coming out, a financial planner out of Winnipeg.
Stoughton taps his hip and says, just board weight. Hanging out a bit. Hanging out quite a bit. He may roll. And doesn't even remove the yellow. A little wide on that shot.
Okay, Doug. Weight is good.
Burtnyk with the yellow stones. Stoughton playing red, and Burtnyk's got a guard and right now a counter in the rings.
Tight. Oh, wait only. Wait for it.
Whoa.
Lots. Looks like lots.
It's lots. It's lots.
Lots.
Sea line plus.
We want a top 8.
Plenty of weight for Rob Meade. Rob waiting for this rock to curl and going a hair deep on it. Wanted to be top of the 4 foot, so he's about 5 feet deeper than he wanted to be.
Well, we've been talking about the rivalry between these two Manitoba foursomes. Jeff Stoughton last season was the money winner on the GMC World Curling Tour with $73,000. Carrie Burtnick was fourth with $53,000. Nice little change. Burtnick has already got one check from the Molson Winnipeg Classic.
This looks like a lot of weight again.
Lots.
Plenty of weight.
Starting to come now.
And it curls there very nicely, but not when you've got this much weight.
And not enough to do any damage. Just slides all the way out.
And that's a big miss. He's very unhappy with that. There you can see the stern face. He would like to have that one back and throw it over again. Put about 15 feet less weight on it.
That's exactly the way you and I threw ours, just to test the weight here too.
Rob Meade giving us less weight.
Top 4. Sliding. Whoa! Got room. Whoa. Top 4.
Whoa. Right
There's
off,
lots
right
of
off.
skate here.
Top
The ice
4.
is very keen. The rocks are gliding a long way.
Yep.
Now they're trying to finish it, make it
Whoa.
tuck right in behind the guard.
Oh, that's top 4. That's right into 4.
Well, Burtnyk is certainly forcing the issue here as he lies 3.
Now to open up the scoring with a big steal would be exactly what Carrie Burtnick likes to do.
Weight's good.
Hit.
They're working this one real hard. They're getting some move on it. Easy now.
Gonna get through. It slides by 1. Gets the hit in the outside roll and bumps one out of play, and the other is just fighting it. No, it's out now too.
Oh, just a beautiful soft weight double.
Okay, Gert, check it.
Have you seen a change in the style of play too, with the likes of Meade and Burtnyk and Stoughton, who like to come and be aggressive? Is that a definite change from, let's say, the last 10, 15 years? Or?
Well, when we had mostly just the hitting rules for a while there, everybody was a big hitter, but now you've got to be an excellent draw team, and you've also got to bring the whole package. You also got to have the big weight for raises and doubles.
Wait. Yeah. Good weight. Great.
Jeff Ryan.
One of the best hit and roll curlers in all of curling. Loves to play the hit and roll.
Gets the hit and the roll, and he's left it open. But a nice little roll.
So close to what he was looking for. Jeff just rolled a pinch too far.
Go bumper. What are we doing, hit and roll in front? Yeah, this is good. Okay.
The last few years, Jonathan Meade played third for Dave Smith of Winnipeg, and they did make it to the Olympic trials after they won the Kelowna event over Jay Tucson. Now he's moved to the Jeff Stout team, part of the Manitoba Shuffle.
Smith is moved over to the Vic Peters team. Manitoba Shuffle, that's a nice way to refer to that.
Untimely little rub there on the guard, just wicked it, and now leaves Burtnyk with a chance to close up the middle even more.
Little stone of the second end for third, Jeff Ryan.
Jeff could come into the rings for a third counter, but they've decided just to play a guard. They want to guard their shot stone, which sits close to the button.
Just over, just clean.
And there we see when you take more ice and you go out to the wings, it tends to curl a little more often because the wings are a little high.
Whoa.
Just swoops in, doesn't it, on that?
Yeah, the more ice you take there, the more it curls. And that's because we're getting both sides of the sheet are a little high, closer to the boards. From where the broom is, out to the boards. A bit of height there.
Yep. Whoa! Whoa!
Picked his weight up a little bit here, and he's not getting that early move.
No. Yep.
Now it's starting to finish.
Gets one and bumps the other, but the two yellows do not leave the house.
Oh, very unfortunate. Wick just didn't make what he was looking for. Now Burtnyk lies too and can put in the third one here, totally buried behind cover. Carrie Burtnick already sitting two, wants to come on the end turn, and there's quite a bit of curl here, so he can come fairly wide, but then coming around the guard, lots of finish. Would like to come to the top of the 4 foot, no deeper than that, just to the top of the 4, and block off the 4 foot and lie 3. Kerry very easy out of the hack here. He's realized how keen the ice is, keener than what they've played on for the last few days.
Stay real close.
But even then, he has lots of weight.
Whoa, right off. Right off. Right off.
This is like a downhill putt. It just wants to keep going. Right to the button. Well, it's beautiful weight, but he wanted it a little bit higher. Didn't want to give Jeff Ryan anything to draw right up to.
Jeff Stoughton now gets ready to throw his rocks here in the second end. Went for the blank in the first, but is facing a tough one now.
This shot is very weight sensitive. The weight's got to be precise. Throws too hard, it'll just run on the rail and go straight. So he needs to basically throw exactly what Carrie Burtnick had here, and if he has good line, then the sweepers can take it a little bit at the end and move that stone off the button.
Got room. Whoa. Got room. Where are we?
More weight than Burtnick.
Starting to come in now.
Go to the back one.
Whoa, make sure it's here. Whoa.
Go to the back one.
It's there.
Now freezing to the back one in the back of the 4 foot.
I can't do anything to say. No kidding. Good throw.
Jeff feeling that he should have got more curl out of that stone, but just a little more weight, and it didn't want to move until very near the end.
I don't know if it'll finish as good, though. Should have finished hard, but just kind of just play it high, and, well, trouble is,
He's got nothing right now. Play it high, he might have it.
well, we can afford to throw quicker. Yeah, but I'm like, I'm gonna probably be okay.
Neat little cluster. Burtnick is shot. Stoughton is second.
Well, there's no doubt here the line he wants to play. He wants to come tight to the guard, but the question is, how deep does he come? Does he come right into the rings, right into the 4 foot to sit to?
I'm short, it's fine.
Where's the weight?
Whoa! Well, here's plan one. Tight to the guards.
And that one's sliding a lot, too. Great sweeping ice. Oh, and that's just an unbelievably beautiful shot right on the face of his own shot stone. Very difficult situation for Jeff Stoughton. I like the way he came right in there. You know, he had the one sewn up. Well, why not go after another one when you have the opportunity to do it? And that's exactly what he's done.
So what are options? Coming around the outside and trying to bump it in and just take the one? That's what they seem to be looking at now.
Yep. Yes, Jeff is indicating an out turn around the guards.
Yeah.
Whatever you like, Jeff.
Yeah, well, we can try it.
Okay. What kind of weight?
Just a little more than what I had. Through house.
Okay.
Rob, Jeff had come over to this side and looked at drawing right to the button and perhaps maybe being able to get one, but looks like instead he's just chosen to play it a little safe, come down here and tap back the yellows and keep Burtnyk to a single point.
Last rock of the second end. Stoughton blanked the opening.
Yep. Hard. Whoa. Hard. Hard. Whoa. Yep. Yes. Hurry.
Sweeping hard now to get by the guard.
Can he get through the guard? No, he presses off the guard. There'll be a steal of 2 by Burtnick.
Oh, they lost it on the sweep.
And right now, Carrie Burtnick's able to steal a pair in the second end to jump in front 2-0 in the semifinal of the GMC World Curling Tour in London, Ontario, the M&M Charity Classic.
Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails.
His first one? Yeah. Never forget your first one.
We fix them right, so the next time your car needs service, you'll bring it back.
She'll be back, big guy.
Till we meet again.
We love cars.
This is our arena, admission is free. This is our ice time, no referee. Maybe not professional. We're chasing box way down ahead. So watch out when our home team gets too near. This is our beer. This is our beer.
Wish you had a cell phone? Get this Motorola free at Radio Shack on any Cantel AT&T 12-month plan. Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers.
Picture the possibilities with Henry's. Now, Henry's makes it even easier for you to have a camera or camcorder ready for any picture-taking possibility. With no money down, no payments, and no interest for 90 days. Picture the possibilities with an award-winning Olympus digital camera from Henry's. Pop the memory card into the floppy disk adapter, and you're ready to see images on your computer. Henry's. Picture the possibilities.
Well, the edge may have been decided early in the second and final rock for Jeff Stoughton.
Well, he throws it well. He's playing light board weight. He wants to remove one Burtnyk stone, but all of a sudden it moves and they don't sweep it. They were off it and they rub the guard, and Burtnyk goes on to steal 2 points, 2 yellows right on the button. And he can't believe it. They lost it on the sweep.
That could be the edge in this second semifinal. The winner will be playing Wayne Meade in the championship of this GMC World Curling Tour event tomorrow.
When we talk about a game plan, obviously Carrie Burtnick's game plan clicked in there beautifully. Played aggressive, made a real nice draw, and I love the way he came in on his last one to lay that extra shot in there and count two. He sat two at that time, and he stole both points. They went right from the button onto the scoreboard. And his game plan worked to perfection. Now Jeff won the toss and kind of blew it there and let it get away. So Jeff's got to play some catch up.
Would it not have been easier then to maybe come on the out turn and just pull into the button using those other two stones as backing and maybe take the one, and you know that eventually you're going to get the hammer back?
It was also a very difficult shot, but I like your suggestion just a little bit better than what they played. I think that you could be my skip in the future. I'm just watching you very closely.
That'll happen. I'll be driving the van. That's all I'll be doing.
This one they threw out a long way on the out turn, but it's curled a fair amount as well. Curled over real nicely, but just not quite enough weight, but they'll take it up high. They need some rocks in play. They're down 2-0.
Rules are they are governed by the 3 rocks rule in the 3 guard zone. Before you can start peeling away the guards, it has to be the 3rd stone of the leads, unless of course it goes in the rings, then it's fair game.
Not heavy. Need it. Right around? Go around. Yeah. Hard. And hard. Whoa. Whoa. Hard.
Coming on the end turn, Keith Fenton, and oh, it curls in beautifully at the end. And nice weight too.
Squeezes by the guard.
Fenton well thrown and good judging by the sweepers, keeping it clean, and good call by Carrie Burtnick. They come fairly tight to the guard and it curls right into the forefoot.
No, not bad.
Waiting to see this rock move.
Need to go. Fine spin, go if you can. Yep, no good. Hard.
There it comes. Looks a little lighter.
That died away. Good throw, Doug. Shot, Doug.
And that goes into the 12-foot, $46,000. The prize money here at the M&M Charity Classic. First place, $14,000. Second place, 8th, and 3rd and 4th semifinalists receiving $6,000. And they will chip in over $8,000 to the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. They do great work here at the M&M Charity Classic. They also do M&M marvelous job in a summer golf tournament they hold. Mac Boysen has his M&M Meat Shop people tuned to contributing as much as they can to the community.
We've got to talk for a second here about Wayne Meade, who's in tomorrow's final. Wayne's looking for his 4th victory in a row. He won the Weston of 5,000, won the SGI 15,000, won Regal Capital 15,000, and is now aiming at the first prize of 14,000 here. So these two teams have to come out of this game and then look to beat Meade in the final.
Cheers, good. Feel.
Gary Vandenberg delivering here.
Yeah, doing a little cleanup here, getting rid of the yellows.
Snaps
only
one
gets
out.
the one.
Which leads to Rob Meakin. Now, Meakin, October 12th in the final of the Molson Winnipeg Classic, did this in the 10th end. Carrie Burtnick asked him to make a couple of important and big shots. Snaps out one double, and then asked them to do it again, and he did, which set up the Burtnick draw to win it all. So he's got some shooters in front of him. Rob Meakin laying this one in gently.
And in that final in Winnipeg, Rob Meakin was in the 90s. He was definitely player of the game, and those two shots that he made at the end of that game, both doubles, were spectacular.
Tuned in very nicely was Rob Meakin. He's a 33-year-old. sales manager for Pro Components.
Just back 12, maybe, not even. Back 4.
Sometimes when you're down 2-0 early in the game, as Jeff Stoughton is, you have to have a little bit of patience, you know, and he might not have that because he kind of feels like they blew that second end in giving away the 2. Now, how hard does he go after it here? You know, he doesn't want to take himself out of the game by being, you know, crazily aggressive.
No! Good. Good shot.
Rearranges the picture.
Good shot, Garrett. Good weight.
I don't really like that one.
Okay.
Good hit and roll here.
Is there a double or anything?
That's very thin.
Okay.
Play easy weight.
Hit and roll for a guard by Jeff Ryan, and he's got this one really going.
He's going the wrong side. And well, maybe he's going to get the double. Well, it didn't have enough strength for the double.
Oh, I don't know if that picked out of his hand, but he was way off the mark. I'm not hearing anything about a pick, so he must have just been that much inside.
Burtnyk with a steal of 2 in the second end.
Play bump. Here.
To Jonathan Meade. Brock.
Can Jonathan take advantage of this break that just came their way? He wants to make the shot. Fly 3.
Whoa, whoa!
This one is also curling big time. He's not getting what he's looking at.
This is going to crash on that guard out front. And that clears out a guard.
Yeah, that was right out of his hand.
Yeah, there he's saying that that one did kick right out of his hand. So some kind of foreign substance on the ice was under the rock just as soon as he let it go, and that's why it curled away. Boomo right there.
Keith Fenton and Rob Meekin doing a little cleanup too before they throw theirs.
Easy weight.
Well, that was too bad. You know, the curling god
Right,
said,
hit and roll
we
over
gave
here.
you a break, but took it away right away.
Here Jeff Ryan say, I'm afraid to throw easy.
Clean. Yeah. Great. Hard.
This one also moving early. The sweepers are working it for all they can to try and hold it.
Whoa.
Okay, he'll take that. He spilled them both out.
Let's go normal. Okay. Whoa. Whoa. Up.
Wanted to roll inside, but now maybe the roll has to go outside, and it's starting to rail and run on them. And he rolls right out.
Stoughton, though, is the shot.
Yeah. Well, those last 3 shots, one by Ryan and 2 by Jonathan, weren't pretty.
Just make sure we hit it. Could you tell? Does it look like it picked? Which one? Either one. The second one didn't. Wow, sure went.
Well, they've obviously figured something's there, and they're going to clean immediately as soon as it leaves Burtnick's hand, just to make sure. Might be carpet fibers. A little grit brought in somewhere.
Playing a straight raise, short raise, and rolls a shooter away. Talking with Jim Champagne, the ice maker here, he said that it's warm outside. The ice temperature is a little bit higher than normal. And so we're seeing a few soft spots in the ice, and so the players have to be very careful when they're throwing that lightweight. And the ice is also very release sensitive, especially down the middle. You turn it a little bit in, which I'm famous for over the years. I could make them curl like crazy on this ice. So a lot of times on this ice, you got to throw a very positive release right to the broom. There you see the insert rocks.
What's that?
Whoa, yep, yeah, whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, is there a roll here all the way across? No, there isn't a move at the end, so just hit and stay. I like the way Jeff is throwing this year. He's throwing a beautiful stone. He's a very, very consistent player. And when he gets it going, I think he's going to take him a little time with this new team, you know, getting Jonathan Meade going as a third. You know, it's a new player for him, but man, these guys are great throwers. And, you know, when they get it going this year, they're going to be very, very tough.
Well, the Manitoba delivery of Jeff Stoughton caused some eyebrows to be raised here in London. There was a team from Dartmouth, Alan O'Leary, who kept saying, how does he throw that and not have the sweeper knock the broom into the... And the same type of release here by Carrie Burtnick.
Yeah, with the broom out in front like that, you have to watch out that the sweeper doesn't knock against that broom and hit it right into the stone. Waiting for some curl, and yeah, it's moving at the end. But rolls over, and that should leave a very simple blank here, hitting anything dead on or on the outside for Jeff Stoughton.
You get a good look, too, as Jeff prepares to deliver here. Stoughton foursome with the hammer. They blank the first end. Burtnyk stole two in the second.
Good last. Right there.
So we see both Burtnyk and Stoughton with the broom ahead, but somebody like Barry Fry comes with the broom facing backwards.
Yeah, and Pat Ryan, who's from Winnipeg over the years, also has got that Manitoba slide, but he has the broom back. Whereas Jeff Stoughton, here he comes with the broom forward. The sweeper having to watch out for that broom.
Okay, right up, right up.
And
good.
That hits, knocks it out, and a blank end. Stoughton decides to hold on to the hammer. Burtnyk leads 2-0 after 3 ends. The GMC World Curling Tour in London, Ontario.
The road traveled by the used vehicle buyer is getting smoother. With Optimum from General Motors, where surprises are avoided. Where you enjoy inspection, certification, and the protection of warranty coverage. General Motors' commitment to you doesn't end when you drive off. It begins. Relax. The road ahead is Optimum.
This is our arena, admission is free. This is our ice time, no referee. Maybe not professional. We chase and box way down the hill. So watch out when our home team gets too near. This is our beer. This is our beer.
My father taught me something I know I'll never forget. You can dream about success, or wake up each day and work hard at it.
There's a lot to be said for knowing where you stand. The new Canada Savings Bonds, with more choices, more options, and the security that keeps you on solid ground.
Break it down.
What's it really like?
Yeah. Break it down. Curling Tour, the GMC World Curling Tour. You take a look at the streets of London, Ontario. It has been an absolutely glorious late fall weekend, and we say hello to Austin and Fox Creek, Alberta. Watching us on CTV Sportsnet, relatives everywhere. Austin. As we get ready for the fourth end of play. Carrie Burtnick right now with a deuce in the second on a steal. And here comes Keith Fenton.
Yep. Top 8.
It is. Look at it. And we've had a wonderful weekend here in London.
All right.
Brian Davey of M&M Meats has been the chairman of the event, and thank him for a tremendous job. He's just sent us up a bunch of dessert here to the announce booth, cheesecake and chocolate and all that. And Rob, please save me just a little
No,
bit.
he put it on your side. Obviously, he thinks you need it. And you could send some out to the truck because those guys do all the work, down to the camera crew. You and I just reap all the glory, past Eddie. And all the calories.
Well, it's time here for Jeff Stoughton to hit the chalk and put some points on the board. He's looking at a shutout so far. No score in the first 3 ends, and he's had the hammer all the way. So, you know, it's time for him to make a move.
Setting up the guard.
Good.
You like the guard or come in behind? I don't mind, Rob. Okay.
I spoke before the game with Carrie Burtnick on this specific strategy. A lot of teams, when they place their first stone into the rings without the hammer like this, will either guard or tap that ring. But Kerry likes to go around the other team's corner guard, and he likes to keep it real high and choke that guard off.
line.
But lots of weight. They're going way too deep. They want this one a foot short of the ring or just biting so that they can choke off that guard. But no, they're going way too deep.
And the lead numbers right now after 3 ends. Keith Fenton, wow.
Well, he was shooting 100%. Obviously, he'll lose something for that last stone of his going right to the back end. And Doug Armstrong playing very steady, 94% on draw, but having a little trouble in his hits, as we have seen so far with the Stoughton team.
Tons of room. Tons of room. Lots of room.
Delivery here. Doug Armstrong.
Sweepers carrying that in.
Okay, Doug.
Plenty of finish, a little rub.
Okay, Doug. This light. Control.
Last time.
Yeah.
I think we play a bump.
The wider you go out here, coming outside in, the more it curls. The wings are a little bit high. Rob needs to throw nice soft weight.
How's the weight? Whoa. Clean if you can. Whoa!
Lots of weight, and it's already curling.
Close. Whoa. Yep, yep. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oh, wants just a little bump. There's
got the bump.
Good rock.
And that's a beautiful stone, straight back.
Normal.
So, Rob, why don't you tell us about the crutch here, that special sliding tool?
Well, this is all his own design. Gary Vandenberg's got a bit of a back problem. This helps him keep him upright. Keeps the pressure off his back. Little PVC pipe, a lot of tape. And he makes the double. See, it's all in the crutch. Take a look at it there. So it's just a broom that he's done a little reconfiguring with.
Yeah, he says he's going to sell millions of them someday.
Well, he's got one. And he's still got some on the design table.
Made a nice double there. Now Rob Beacon playing the inside hit and roll.
Right on.
They want it to move.
Finished. Okay, good rock.
just by his own back one, which really is doing him no good back there at all.
That one was a little better.
There's Rob Meakin, 79% through 3 ends, 50% on his hits.
Wow, struggling there in his hits too. Had quite a few rollouts.
Gary Vandenberg is 75% with his draws and hits, 100% on his draws right now.
We're seeing a little inconsistency in those numbers, you know, like I think that both teams are adjusting to this ice a little bit. Obviously, it's different than what they played on for the rest of the spiel, and I think they're a little surprised by sometimes the curl they're getting and the speed and slickness of the ice. Here once again, you know, sliding too far.
You got the whoa too.
And there's ball bearings under that one. It's just sliding and sliding.
Not getting whoa, getting whoa.
Does Carrie Burtnick get it out?
Might be a biter in the back 12, along with the yellow, so the 2 stones in play are deep.
There you hear Burtnick joking about the fact that he could stop it, you know, and a lot of skips are famous for that, you know, and the front ends look down the ice and they can't believe the skip didn't get the rock out, and somehow he slowed it down.
Wayne, where is it?
Good line on this one. But up weight again.
It's very heavy.
They're having trouble with his downhill golf putt. It just won't stop.
Yep.
Might as well bring it, they decide, and they bump out the red stone. They overswept it.
Well, that's a good line. Might just as well blame it on somebody. Well, he's just kidding there. He just knows he overthrew it. This ice, hog to hog now, is getting up into that 16, 17 area, and like 26, 27 hog to tee.
Got room?
Very quick.
Ton of room. Come on. No. Not.
Bringing that one in, and once again going a little bit too deep and not getting much of a barrier either. But now it provides something that Burtnyk can draw to, and I think we're going to see a few stones in the 4-foot right away.
Here's the numbers on the thirds.
Jeff Ryan struggling too, 67%, and Jonathan Meade 60% on hits, and you know they're just struggling with the ice a little bit now, and I think you'll see those numbers really picking up in the next couple of ends, though, you know, as they decide that, you know, this is what the ice is, so you better believe it and throw it.
Well, Jeff Ryan is following this all the way down.
Hard. Easy. Good line. Hip. Hard.
He thought he was light, but it's still sliding real well.
Let it finish. Oh, it's overcutting anyway. Let it finish.
And nice freeze weight.
Where is that, Jeff?
It's back 4. T-line's good.
I'm always amazed by these Manitoba sliding rooms. It seems that they can find any old thing that's been in the garage for about 40 years.
Wait
Well,
only.
that'll be their sliding room.
Wait only.
Not pretty, but effective.
This one's really hanging out. All they can do is wait and see if it moves.
Oh, leaving the yellow as shot.
Yeah, a little bit too hard. Jonathan's missed 3 in a row now where he had opportunities to really set up a good situation for Jeff, and just hasn't been able to do it.
Yeah, there's a quick look at that weapon that Jonathan Meade uses.
Well, a lot of those old style curling rooms, you know, they were made of straw. They had a leather in the center of them, so it's like a tongue when all the straw falls away. Pretty ugly looking broom, you know, but these guys have been sliding with that same broom for maybe 10, 15 years, and they're just very comfortable with it.
Same speed on this side? Same speed on this side?
Well, with everybody going heavy here, all I can suggest to these guys is throw the weight you're thinking about 10 feet less than that, you know, so give the sweepers a chance to carry it a little bit.
Whoa! Easy. Whoa. Stay close. Whoa.
You'd like to stay as high as possible in front of the pocket.
Stay with it.
Just wants to be shot rock, and that's all.
Whoa.
Not bad. Wanted to be a few inches higher, but that's good.
The shot and second shot. Skip numbers, 96% for Carrie Burtnick, Jeff Stoughton 75% through 3 ends. His draw weight has been confusing, but Burtnick has been on.
Wow, 96%, 100% on draws, in the 90s on hits. So Kerry's really come up with the goods so far, and that's why he's got the 2-0 lead. He made that beautiful bury in his last shot in the second end, and that got him the extra point. Jeff's not going to be outdone here. He's got to make a shot and get back into the game. He wants to come and not take the other one out. Just tap it back a little bit, create the wall, but just sit your shot stone.
Just down. Move it a bit. Back.
Yep. Whoa. Close. Whoa.
Stoughton Stone on the way.
No.
Just wants to tap the Burtnyk stone a couple of feet and doesn't want to roll away at all.
And nicely done.
That's nice. A nice wall back there, and Stoughton is shot stone at the top of the fourth. It will be very difficult for Burtnyk to remove that one.
Shot, Jeff.
Well, is there any room there for a hit by Carrie Burtnick?
Well, he'll be looking at the angle here to see what he can do.
To try to strip that away from the 4 foot. He is still counting 2. Burtnick, if he can get rid of that red stone.
Actually, the best one is if you hit it almost on the nose and into there across. If we pick it out, I don't think we can bugger this up, eh? Unless we jammed it. If we just missed the jam. Yeah, we get it out. Yeah, that's a good alternative. Like, we can play it skinny, and if we get by, we've got that.
You hear plan A and plan B.
What they've decided is to come real tight to the guard, try to come over top of the red one a little bit.
The hair more.
They want to be tight to the guard.
Works out good if we go right by, too.
Over the top a little bit. Off the yellow or under the red, just roll it over. And just roll their shooter in a tiny bit. He's got to come very tight to the guard to do this. It's hanging out a little bit on him. Now the pick, they're doing the pick. Yes, he just picks it straight sideways. Changed his mind at the last second. Good shot.
So he picks that out. Right now he lies 2.
Well, he liked your first alternative, Rob. Just the straight pick, the easiest shot in that particular spot.
And now for Jeff Stoughton, who holds the hammer. His final stone here in the 4th end.
Well, it looks like a simple situation, but he's got to be careful here. He's got to be right on the broom, out to the broom. And, of course, the weight is very critical here. This spot is very, very fast.
And after 3 ends, his draw weight was 50%.
Yeah, and he has lots of weight here. All sorts of weight. Sweeper's not having to do anything.
Starting to move now. Does it have enough? Oh.
And that looks like a steal of one yellow.
It's a steal of 1. It is another steal for Carrie Burtnick and his foursome. They take a 3-0 lead. Too much weight is what Jeff Stoughton said. And that face says it all here in the GMC World Curling Tour.
You can try to ask questions in a supermarket, or you can always get answers at M&M Meat Shops. Hundreds of quality meal ideas, one aisle.
When I look at them, I see myself. And when I talk to them, I hear my mother. Funny how that works. She was always there for me, just like I'll always be there for them.
There's a lot to be said for knowing where you stand. The new Canada Savings Bonds, with more choices, more options, and the security that keeps you on solid ground.
You can try to ask questions in a supermarket, or you can always get answers at M&M Meat Shops. Hundreds of quality meal ideas, one aisle.
Break it down.
What's it really like?
Yeah. Break it down.
You can try to ask questions in a supermarket, or you can always get answers at M&M Meat Shops. Hundreds of quality meal ideas, one aisle.
An infinite number of monkeys on an infinite number of typewriters will eventually define all that is Canada.
Gentlemen, down south, we have trouble following your puck. So what we want to do is introduce this blue streak on screen every time someone passes the puck. And when they shoot it, red streak. Blue pass, red shoot. You get it, boys?
This is the GMC World Curling Tour. Title sponsor here, the M&M Charity Classic. Can't do it without local sponsors. The involvement of the people at Sport Fund. Certainly thank them for being part of it and making it such a success here at the Highland Country Club. And the organizing committee, and you've already centered them out for a great job, do a nice job working in the city, getting extra sponsors on hand, whether it be for shuttles for the teams, back and forth from hotel to curling rink, hospitality. As we go into the 5th end, 3-0 Burtnyk leading, and all his points coming on the steal.
Well, I'm pretty sure we'll see Kerry take this first stone coming from Keith Fenton right into the 4-foot circle and perhaps guard it on his next one. For Jeff Stoughton, you know, obviously the game plan hasn't worked out so far, so he's going to have to change things a little bit and go after the offense. You know, he tried to get a hit, that didn't work. Now he's down 3-0, but you know, with the 3-rock rule, he's got to throw up some corner guards, try to do some tuck in behind, get some rocks in behind the guards, and get some points on the board. He's had the hammer for, this will be the 5th straight inning. He hasn't hit the chalk yet. He's been bageled so far, so time to get on the go. Having been in these types of games before, it's frustrating when you have the hammer given to you in the first inning, and here's the 5th inning. You haven't, if you look at the scoreboard, and you haven't counted yet. You go, well, you know, maybe the best thing we can do here is score, get rid of the hammer, and give it to the other guy and see what he can do with it. You know, and maybe that'll work.
Shut it.
Carrie Burtnick setting up. There's Yellowstone in the house. There's a guard, a red guard up front. Keith Fenton delivering second stone. The intern.
the lefty playing his in turn. Going around that guard, just placed there by Jeff Stoughton. This is coming in beautifully.
It picked
curls
something.
hard. You see inside of that blue area, the ice is a little softer, and sometimes you get the big move. The sweepers really have to be on it, but good fortune, they roll over for a guard on their own.
Carrie Burtnick described that well, saying it fell off the cliff.
Yeah, the blue area, sometimes the rocks, as the players have talked, they really move in that area, and there it goes.
Yellow clip. Doug Armstrong.
Wait's fine. Got room.
I'm sure the sweepers will be really attentive on this one, knowing that it can move here real hard.
Come on.
And it pulls in. Another one of the local sponsors, the London Free Press. World Pitch and Putt Corporation. These people make it work, along with the title sponsor, M&M Meade. And then, of course, all the sponsors that make the GMC World Curling Tour click.
Carrie Burtnick deciding to throw a little defense here, but goes right by both of them and gets absolutely nothing. And that certainly is the break that Jeff Stoughton was looking for. This is a building in for Jeff Stoughton. He's not interested in removing that yellow one just yet. Would just like to come in a corner freeze on it. Wants to build some red stones in the rings. Another lefty out turn for Gary Vandenberg. Doesn't want to move the yellow one, just wants to come around the guard and freeze right on the corner of it. Lock that freeze right on. There seems to be more sweep on the rocks happening going away from home rather than coming towards the home end, and maybe they've just over-adjusted. Or perhaps the ice is a little stickier at the far end.
That clicked on the guard. They did say it was the right
Unless
way.
you want to go in. We're shot. What's that? We're shot. We could go in if you want. I like this.
Often the best defense is a good offense. Carrie Burtnick was thinking, well, we're up 3-0, but there's all these rocks around. Maybe we should just stay on the offense. But now he's decided to peel. Little rub here, he might get two.
He gets two. And bumps
drills
his
him on
out.
his own. Very unfortunate shot for Rob Meakin.
Now with two in the rings, Jeff Stoughton has an opportunity to get a little action going. You see the head shake of Rob Meakin.
Tap back's good. We're just setting them up for something, but maybe straight back's not bad. Back here.
Gary Vandenberg out of the hack.
Well, there really is no good place for this rock because no matter what you do with it, Burtnick's going to have a double. But you just got to forget about that and put it in the rings and put the three into the rings and see what Burtnick can do. Got to keep sweeping. They want to tap this as far as they can in behind the guard.
Oh, nicely done on the tap. That could be. I think there's much you can see there. And three in the rings.
Yeah, there's a double on the left-hand side. But Gary made that when he put it in the rings. And first things first, got to get it into the ring.
City of London hosted the Brier in 1974. Pick Gervais winning. They had the Worlds here in '81. Jörg Tanner of Switzerland a winner.
Jeff Ryan chasing the double on the left side of the sheet. Needs a little more finish. Doesn't quite get it, and he leaves it, and that rock is going to be trouble for Burtnick because he may have to waste a shot on it later on. Meanwhile, Jeff Stoughton looking at getting behind the guard again.
And some great curling in southwestern Ontario each and every year.
Back here, eh? T-line's not bad. T-line or back 12 is pretty good.
And a women's cash wheel here earlier. There's a junior event coming up next weekend. Junior men will play here at Highland. Junior women will play at London Curling Club. Winners will receive themselves entry to the Kingsmith International Bonspiel in Calgary at the Canadian National Training Center. John Morris, the Ontario Canadian and World Junior Men's Champion, will be taking part.
Yeah, and that's a really fantastic event for the junior curlers in our country and in the world. Ray Kingsmith did so much for curling and was instrumental in helping it to get into the Olympics. And now they have an event in Calgary for him, and it's a fantastic event for the young players and the juniors, and we're looking forward to seeing them all there. Hope they can qualify.
Pulls that in. Almost T-line weight. 3 red stones in the rings. Should also mention too, to show you the development of curling in the area. There's also a Bantam Bonspiel going on. Bantam girls team will be in Ilderton, Ontario. The Bantam boys team in St. Thomas. So strong with the junior competition, which is great. Shows a great future for the game.
Jonathan Meade didn't get deep enough on this one. Wanted to take it to the back ring and may have set up a double, and the double or the hit and roll, but doesn't quite get it out. He's smiling. He knows that he should have had that double.
Dead side by side, or is it yellow higher?
What's that?
Yellow higher?
Yeah, nose hit.
Fifth end to play. Jonathan Meade delivering.
Whoa, close. Whoa, whoa.
There should be some finish in this area. They need to get on it. There's coming hard now.
And they knock it out.
Perfect stone.
Jonathan Meade joining this team. He curled with Dave Smith, who's now moved on to curl with Vic Peters.
Finally found a combination of rocks that can make a shot.
Carrie Burtnick looking for the double, needs to hit about half. Remove that one, come over on the other stone. Wouldn't want to hit about 3/4 though, because he might roll right across the face of that other second stone. So he's got to hit it exactly around half.
Skips rocks remaining in the fifth end. Burtnick leading 3-0. Stole 2 in the second, 1 in the fourth.
Threw a little tight. Sweepers are trying to hold it. He's definitely rolling. And he gets the double. Good shot.
Good work by Carrie Burtnick to clean out that left side. There is still a red stone protected by a yellow guard in the house.
Well, he's a happy man with this. The sweepers were working hard, managed to hold it up. Catches it almost too thick, but manages the double and rolls out.
Yeah, no, I think it will come up enough.
Okay.
Bit more.
Jeff Stoughton definitely has to get on the scoreboard here, but he's got to make a real good one to get 3. 2 possibilities. Come tight to the guard and freeze right into the top up to his own. That could set up the 3-ender and make it difficult for Burtnick, but he doesn't want to set up a double. He wants to make sure he's under cover. Lots of weight out of the hack.
Well, where are we? Wow!
Are they going to wait, or are they going to go around the red one in the rings? Yeah, they're going around the red one in the rings.
Hard! Hurry! Hurry!
Really moving now as it gets.
They've got to get it by their own.
It's going to slide by.
Keep going, keep going. Keep going.
And it's deep. And
that's a beautiful
nice
shot.
cover.
Stoughton would have liked to have taken that one a little bit deeper, right to the very back ring, so that if Burtnyk froze on it, he would only be second shot. The way it's sitting, if Burtnyk can come in and freeze dead on there, he could take the entire end away from Jeff Stoughton.
How's the weight?
Whoa, whoa! Good line.
Room. Good line.
Kerry right in behind the stone, helping the sweepers to judge it.
Hard! Hard! Whoa! Whoa! Whoa!
Did they oversweep it a little? And he bumps it a hair. That's a great shot under pressure, and one that is going to make it very difficult for Stoughton to score.
I think we can tap.
They didn't want to rub, so they had to stay on this one. They didn't want to rub the one in the rings. They had to get by. They do that, and just turns out to be just a smidgen heavy as he taps it a little now. Can Stoughton get one or two here?
Well, he has seen it delivered once, and now all he's trying to do is make the hammer pay off for him. He's held the hammer since the opening coin toss and has not been able to make it pay.
The way the rocks are sitting, Jeff Stoughton is only playing for two, but he feels if he can tap the yellow one back a little bit, that he will count his shooter and that second stone in the rings to count two and put them on the board. Just needs nice draw weight, throw it out to the sweepers.
Whoa.
Yep. Keep it clean.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yes! Hurry! Hard! Hard! Hurry! Hurry! Hard! Hard!
And they're holding it.
It's heavy enough.
One or two.
Oh. There's the question. They've got one. That one for sure is one. The question is there another to count? And they might have to measure, and they are going to measure. So for Jeff Stoughton, getting two, a lot nicer than just sneaking in with the single.
Yeah, this is a big measure right at this point in the game on the fifth end. If he can pick up the deuce here and he's only down 3-2, that makes it a little bit easier for him over the next couple ends to play offense.
Very difficult to judge right now.
Well, you got a 5-spot there, Rob?
Are you talking like a nickel or what?
Well, which do you think?
Boy, I'm going to say Burtnyk. I think they only nailed one.
Well, I hate to disappoint you. I think it's going to be a deuce. Okay.
Okay. Boy, it's nice that we both don't agree. It is red. You're right. Very nicely done.
Well, give credit to our overhead camera guys who've got that camera just absolutely perfectly positioned.
Well, then my eyes are not positioned correctly, and I've got one each side of my head. 3-2 the score. 2 for Stoughton after 5 in London.
It has the most powerful Vortec engine ever made. 4-wheel disc anti-lock brakes standard, and the largest, most comfortable cab we've ever built. The totally redesigned Sierra by GMC. Now that's a truck, I'll say.
Break it down.
What's it really like?
Yeah. Break it down.
Dinner shouldn't take longer to buy than it does to prepare. Everything it takes to make a meal like this, you can get in minutes. Small, fast, friendly, and helpful. M&M Meat Shops. Hundreds of quality meal ideas. One aisle.
My daughter is a ski instructor and has to drive 100 kilometers to work. One day it was so snowy she couldn't see but 2 feet in front of her face when this car spun out ahead of her. She kept control while the car behind her went into the ditch. It was only because the car had Blizzaks that I let her drive alone.
Now get Bridgestone Blizzak in 2 tread designs, Ice Gripper or Winter Biter. More options for total control this winter. Blizzak by Bridgestone, the winter tire that sticks to ice.
CTV Sportsnet's coverage of the GMC World Curling Tour is brought to you by GMC, makers of the totally redesigned Sierra and proud sponsor of the GMC World Curling Tour. By Molson, what beer's all about. And by M&M Meat Shops, hundreds of meal ideas all in one aisle.
And a look at St. Peter's Basilica in London, Ontario, as we're in the 5th end break. Carrie Burtnick leading 3-2 at the M&M Charity Classic, part of the GMC World Curling Tour. And welcome to Fireside Ed and Fireside Rob, here to tell you a little story about curling. And in this matchup, two great curlers, two great shot makers who struggled a little bit, especially Jeff Stoughton, who was handed the hammer in the first end, Ed, and really couldn't make it pay off.
Yeah, for the first 4 ends, he wasn't even able to score, and he finally hit the chalk with a deuce in the 5th. But give credit where credit is due. Carrie Burtnick himself so far has curled basically a perfect game. I don't think he's really missed a shot, and he's deserving of his 3-2 lead, and he's got the hammer going into the 6th end.
Let's take a look at our couple of edges here. The first one coming in the 2nd end, and this belongs to Jeff Stoughton.
Jeff playing a very tricky shot, and Carrie Burtnick played smart here. He put a second counter right in behind a guard into the 4-foot and really went after it when there was a chance. And Jeff looked like he threw it good, and they weren't on it too hard, but all of a sudden the rock starts to curl, and they lost it on the sweep. And as you'll see, that's starting to cut, and he just grazes the guard, wicks off, and there's Burtnick's 2 stones right on the button, and he steals 2.
Well, Burtnick, after stealing another, had a 3-0 lead coming into the 5th end. The last rock now for Jeff Stoughton.
Yeah, I think he really wanted to make this one because, you know, he struggled in the first 4 ends, but made a couple of good shots in this end, got a couple of breaks. There you see the sweepers. They've got to get it by their own red stone in the 8-foot. There they are. They're clearing their own stone, and now they've got to make sweep as hard as they can, try and angle the yellow to the side. And on a measure, they do count the 2 reds, make it 3-2.
Much better eyesight on your part, Ed Lukowicz. You knew that he had 2. It is now a 3-2 game. Do they stay aggressive in the final 5 ends? Do we see a difference or a change in any style?
Well, for Jeff Stoughton, he really has no choice. He's down on the game. He's really got to go for the offense. He's really got to put all the rocks he can up and try and steal the points. Carrie Burtnick can play a little bit of cat and mouse here. He can play some defense, but he can also spring into the offense and go for more points if he wants. So be interesting to see what Carrie Burtnick does over the next couple of ends.
How much of a confidence boost is that deuce in the 5th? Is that enough to carry Jeff Stoughton over? As he said, it's some tough curling in this first 5.
Well, it's a very timely count. You know, the 5th end break, it's nice to be the guy who counted the points going into the break, and now he has the momentum going into the last half of the game.
Well, only 1 point difference now in this semifinal. The winner plays Wayne Meade in the championship. The GMC World Curling Tour stops in London, Ontario.
This week's tip is on alignment, something that'll make both you and your skip a lot happier with the results. When lining up your shot, it's much easier to start from in behind the hack, drawing an imaginary line from the hack you are throwing from to the skip's broom at the far end. On that imaginary line, you want to make sure your foot, your knee, and the rock are all in line with that. The reasons for this is if you slide a little bit narrow, you're going to want to feed the rock back to the broom, and if you slide a little bit wide, you're going to want to hook the rock to the broom, making it much tougher for your skip to read the shot. So the keys to alignment are knee, foot, rock, all on the line, and then right towards your target. And here's one more tip for lining up the perfect party. M&M Meat Shops has hundreds of party food ideas, all in one aisle.
Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails.
His first one? Yeah. Never forget your first one.
We fix them right, so the next time your car needs service, you'll bring it back.
He'll be back, big guy.
Till we meet
We love cars.
My roots? Well, I'd have to say my friends, my sports, and being here, which is all about spiritual opportunity. My lifestyle is important to me. Living in Whistler has given me the space to train, to think, whatever. That's what it's all about. These are my roots.
Break it down.
What's it really like?
Break it down.
Radio Shack has handy products for the whole family, even overprotective dads. Radio Shack, you've got questions, we've got answers.
Time now for the fifth end breakdown. The numbers through the first 5 ends of this semifinal between Carrie Burtnick and Jeff Stoughton.
Well, look at the points stolen by Carrie Burtnick. 3 steals and a strong team percentage, 80%, 81 on draws, hit 75. Carrie Burtnick, though, the standout in the first half of the game. Jeff Stoughton has struggled a little bit, but the 2-ender he got in the 5th end has maybe given him a boost, and now maybe he can charge into the 6th end.
And now, for the first time in this match, Carrie Burtnick has the hammer. Doug Armstrong delivers for the Stoughton foursome. 38-year-old financial planner from Winnipeg. His team curls out of the Charleswood Curling Club.
Well, if you can't do much with the hammer, you better count and get rid of it. So Jeff Stoughton used the hammer there, got 2 points, and now has gotten rid of the hammer, and maybe he'll have better luck without it for the rest of the game.
And very quickly sets up the guard.
That one moved early on them. They want to get by if they can, although Carrie Burtnick wouldn't be too displeased if those rocks were split and gave him 2 corner guards, but there isn't quite enough weight there to do that. Oh, yeah. He's added another one to the center, and those rocks are really staggered, so advantage Jeff Stoughton if he can bury the first one in there and tuck one in behind.
Earlier today, Wayne Meade defeated Jeff McCready 7-2 to move into yet another final. So the winner of this match gets to face the mighty Meade.
And Meade now 26-1 for this season. He has only lost to McCready early on in this event. Meade today played with only 3 players. His third man, all-star third man Graham McCarroll. His dad is in the hospital, very sick, and so Graham did not play, but with 3 players, man, those guys played well. And Wayne Meade was certainly 100% given credit for that win, 7-1.
So this second semifinal now leading 3-2 to Carrie Burtnick, who has the hammer.
Stay close. Whoa. Stay close.
This might have more weight than he wants.
Burtnick with the hammer here wants to make sure and get the red one, but if he rolls into the open, he'll be happy with that.
for a hit and roll is Jeff Stoughton.
Stoughton could draw in behind. He's one down, but he says, why not kill two birds with one stone? Play the hit, and then roll behind. So defensive shot that turns into an offensive roll in behind. This one looked tight right out of his hand. Sweeping hard, trying to hold it.
Get the inside roll, but a lot of roll right out of the rings.
Good sweeping by Carrie Burtnick. Got to give a skip credit for sweeping every once in a while.
Just as a confidence boost or what?
Well, skips need that, you know. The front end never
Very
ever
fragile,
says
aren't they?
anything
They're
good about
emotionally
their sweeping.
fragile. All you skips are the same. I know Zeke, our floor manager, has to deal with you with kid gloves. Remind me to introduce you to Zeke later. Sorry, can't.
Here's Carrie Burtnick, one up with. He could go out there and peel those guards off now, but says, let's go to the offense. See if we can get that deuce back that we just gave away.
Whoa, if you can. Whoa, if you can. Whoa, 8 foot.
Well,
there it comes, starting to move.
Hurry.
Sweep hard and finish it. Good shot. But that leaves the intern, the other side open, and Jeff Stoughton says, hey, we can come the other way.
Well, didn't they have trouble on that side earlier in this match, though?
For sure, this side is very iffy. Sometimes it really takes off here, so they got to keep this clean all the way.
Line's good.
Kerry Vandenberg.
Got room.
There it should start to move now.
Yep. Got room. Hard.
Weight's nice.
Oh, they're getting a nice finish here.
Oh, terrific. If he can get the pull through, I think he'll take that. Well, they seem to have solved any ice problem on that side.
Yeah, they kept on the sweep all the way, made sure they didn't lose it.
Good throw.
Rob Meakin just following it down, the same shot. Play the freeze, and if the sweepers can sweep at the end because the line is good, then they can bump it. Got more weight, definitely more weight.
Lots of weight. Clean, clean if you can. Lots of weight. Whoa. Whoa. Where is it? Whoa. Right to it. Whoa. Stay close. No, lots. Never.
Well, now it becomes a bump.
And he only got to the outside of it and left the red as shot stone.
Tucked even more on the center line behind cover.
Right here.
Jeff playing a smart shot here, not going after the other one, just drawing in for second shot.
Yep. Whoa. What's the weight? No line. No. Ton of room.
Also lots of weight. They're waiting for it to break. Five feet more than he wanted and didn't even have the sweeping. Just wanted to come to the top of the 4 foot.
And now it lies 2 in the 4 foot. Throwing some big weight now is Jeff Ryan.
Yeah.
I could play the outside double or could roll inside.
Got to hold the line.
Very tight.
Through. And nails 1 and his second shot.
Wow, that was close to the double. They just had to hold the sweep a little more. Jonathan Meade on this shot, line all important. He can stay a little high and guard, or can come right in and freeze on the inside of the Yellowstone.
Yep. Hurry!
First things first, though, they have to get it by. And very tight to the guard and getting to the inside of the. That is absolutely a super shot. Whoa, shot of the game so far.
And now with 2 in the 4-foot, Carrie Burtnick taking a couple looks at it.
Well, this is the Jonathan Meade we're used to seeing. Scrapes by that guard, gets to the inside of Burtnick's Yellowstone, and rolls right to the center line. Got counting 2, sitting 2, both in the 4-foot. Burtnick recognizes that now he's in trouble in this end. Time to try and bail out. Got to open it up.
Final stone for Jeff Ryan here in the 6th.
Wants to hit off the nose. He wants to hit off the nose so he can roll away, but hits it dead on and leaves. Does not open it up.
Coming up Tuesday night, our next NHL national broadcast. The Gang of 5. Millen, Simpson, Hewson, Kiprios, and Drager. They'll be on board as Buffalo faces the New York Rangers. Not only do we have the great one in the Dominator, we got that gang too. It's right here on CTV Sportsnet, 5:30 Mountain Time, Tuesday, October 27th.
Just a block shot here for Jeff Stoughton. Just wants to take away the in-turn opportunity for Carrie Burtnick. He'd probably like to keep this guard fairly high so that Burtnick can't raise it back. Beautiful shot of Jeff Stoughton coming right up the pipe.
Yep, stay on it. Whoa, whoa. You're good.
Yeah.
You're good.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Whoa.
Absolutely doesn't want to get too deep on this.
It's deeper than they want. It's not woeing at all. It's not whoa when I say whoa.
It's okay.
Well, if you're going to make a mistake, that's not too bad. He's come in and got a good angle on his own.
So does Carrie Burtnick just follow this one in?
Well, I'm not sure how much he can see of that, Red, whether he can make a play on it with big weight or whether he has to go after the front yellow guard and try and drive it back.
Either the nose or the red. You thinking something else? The others to come quiet and bump that out, but I like this.
This way?
Yeah. Out turn. Some less. I can overcut if anything. Yeah. I get lucky.
Carrie Burtnick playing a raise on his own yellow. Would like to land it right there on the red one and double them out. Might get lucky and use the yellow as well. Let's see what happens.
Whoa, whoa.
Carrie Burtnick with his toughest shot of the game so far, playing a straight back raise, and it looks like he's a little outside and just misses it.
And now leaves Jeff Stoughton in a situation where he is counting 3.
Well, the saving grace there, Kerry did open it up, got rid of the front guard, but what's he going to be left with on his final stone?
I think guard center line. What's he got there? Well, he can still double him off. You know what I mean? Make the drop there. Yeah, okay. I think we just get the center line. Okay. As long as we guard half and half. Yeah. Right here. You guys like that? Right on it, Jeff? Right on it here? Yeah. I don't know if I want to move them around. They're sitting pretty good. Hey, you don't have to move them. Well. You got to be high, though.
Because otherwise he's just banging all day.
Yeah.
I think just put there.
Yeah, because he's got nothing with this one, eh?
No.
So this isn't bad.
No. Just make sure we take enough room.
As you diagrammed it, there could be that center guard. Now,
Sometimes another shot in the wings is just as good as the guard, and I think he feels he can come and freeze right up to those two red ones at the top of the 4-foot, lie 4, and still leave Burtnick with basically very little, except perhaps a draw.
Which way
on the outside?
On the outside, okay.
Doesn't want to move these around. They're sitting perfectly for him now. Just wants to freeze right up to them. Just well done.
Right to it?
No.
Close?
No.
He has the weight. Lots of weight.
No.
Oh, he's going to be in, and he's going to give him a bump and jiggle him around a little bit.
Shot.
4 reds right now counting for Jeff Stoughton, and the hammer belongs to Carrie Burtnick.
And he's going to need it. There's no doubt about it. He's looking at 4 stones.
Big weight's not going to fix that, is it?
Well, there might be a triple there at the top.
Rocket here, and
Yeah.
hope we get. You might get lucky and get a third one.
Yeah.
Wonder, do we want to hit it a little on the... Just a... No.
Carrie Burtnick's going to need lots of weight on this one. Hit the top red, spill it out, send the second red out over the side. The shot stone out back. I don't think he can get that back one though, so he's definitely looking at giving up something here to Jeff Stoughton. But this is an awfully tough triple. He's got to have lots of weight. He's got to hit it exact.
No, we shouldn't be surprised by a steal of anything, and especially in this one.
Just a shade less.
Jeff Stoughton held the hammer for 5 ends and only managed to pick up 2 in the 5th. After giving up a steal of 2 in the 2nd and 1 in the 4th. It's on the way.
Lots of weight. There should be some curl here, even with this weight. What's he got?
He gets 1, 2, 3.
Get out. Get out.
He may have 2. It looks like 2.
A heck of a try. Gets rid of 2, but leaves a steal of 2 for Jeff Stoughton.
And a new leader here in the semifinal of the M&M Charity Classic. Stoughton leads 4-3 after 6 ends of play.
You can try to ask questions in a supermarket, or you can always get answers at M&M meat shops. Hundreds of quality meal ideas, one aisle.
My roots? Well, I'd have to say my friends, my sports, and being here, which is all about spiritual opportunity. My lifestyle is important to me. Living in Whistler has given me the space to train, to think, whatever. That's what it's all about. These are my roots.
You can try to ask questions in a supermarket, or you can always get answers at M&M meat shops. Hundreds of quality meal ideas, one aisle.
The Transformer is definitely a better brush.
Come on, hard!
The new quarter ahead makes it easier to sweep. 8-enders improve the bumper so it's practically unbreakable. The head adjusts right or left so you can sweep on either side of the rock. You can switch from synthetic to hair depending on ice conditions. The Transformer works for me.
Definitely the choice of champions.
The Transformer, available at fine sporting goods stores everywhere.
You can try to ask questions in a supermarket, or you can always get answers at M&M meat shops. Hundreds of quality meal ideas, one aisle.
My daughter is a ski instructor and has to drive 100 kilometers to work. One day it was so snowy she couldn't see but 2 feet in front of her face when this car spun out ahead of her. She kept control while the car behind her went into the ditch. It was only because the car had Blizzaks that I let her drive alone.
Now get Bridgestone Blizzak in 2 tread designs, Ice Gripper or Winter Biter. More options for total control this winter. Blizzak by Bridgestone, the winter tire that sticks to ice.
The GMC World Curling Tour is 61 events strong with over $2 million in prize money. One of the stops, Kamloops, BC, where Dave Schleppe of Kamloops and Kevin Martin of Edmonton have moved along as the A qualifiers. B qualifiers are Bert Gretzinger of Kelowna, and from Edmonton, the Dave Nenouin, Randy Furby combination. In Medicine Hat, Alberta, proceeds going to the Children's Wish Foundation. $33,000 total prize money. A qualifiers, Lloyd Heller from Medicine Hat and Gary Polos of Spruce Grove. In the B qualifiers, Frankie Morissette and Scott Ramsey. Just some of the action going on in the GMC World Curling Tour.
Some of my buddies playing out there in different spiels across the world. Kevin Martin in Kamloops, and in Medicine Hat there, Lyle Davis with that Lloyd Heller team, and my pal from the recent curling years, Frank Morissette, skipping the good ship Morissette into a qualifying round.
Not to forget Pat Ryan picking up a little cashola today in Switzerland.
Yeah, did real well there, won the final and made a nice trip over to Europe, picked up the cash, and will be coming home with that.
Do you have anything to declare, Mr. Ryan?
What a game so far. Burtnyk in the first 4 ends counts 3 points and says, Jeff Stoughton, I'm just kicking you 3-0. Stoughton says, I'm taking 4 straight points and now I'm kicking you. So let's see who gets the last kick at the cat here, and we're going to be in for a treat in these last 4 ends.
He just declined the hammer.
Well, that was a problem. He had that hammer for too long, but now he got rid of it. Sometimes that happens in a game. You just got to get going. Carrie Burtnick mentioning to his teammates that Keith has been just a little light every time, and maybe he has overcompensated a little bit for that real keen ice.
Doug Armstrong with an 88%.
Very strong at lead, always plays well.
We're nice. Moderate. Top ring. Barely.
I'm just feeling here, watching here, that the ice is starting to tighten a little bit. You know, for a few ends there, they couldn't hold anything back. Everything was sliding through, and now it seems to be just tightening up, you know, just that fraction.
So great opportunity to see 2 different kinds of games, too, as the ice conditions change throughout a match.
Even if you bump it back here, it's not.
Well, sometimes it's a little bit mental, too, when that ice is just lightning fast. Everybody pulls back on their weight mentally, and it just doesn't throw as hard. But I'm just noticing around the hog line that the rocks seem to be slowing a little bit quicker.
Trying to hold this to get it by the guard.
Yeah, he doesn't have.
Not going to happen.
No, it doesn't have the weight. And they want to get that guard out of the way. But they want a corner, so they keep it there.
Interesting to see, especially at this level, and I think a lot of people watching can learn an awful lot, that there is an A plan and a B plan to most shots.
Well,
sometimes as all of a sudden Kerry went, you know, that's not a bad shot either.
For sure, he's got 2 corner guards there, things he can roll behind and get behind cover. Yeah, if you miss, you like to miss smart.
Weight's nice.
Wow. Whoa. Whoa, no line. Whoa, 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 whoa. You have to go. Yep.
Yeah, the weight's starting to come
there.
off.
Whoa, whoa. Yes!
Now they gotta go.
Weight's there.
Park.
Whoa, whoa. Good shot.
Nice angle, right in behind the center guard.
Good shot, Gary.
Bumper weight. Get that one fine, as long as we leave the shooter there.
The double specialist, as we saw in Winnipeg, Rob Meakin. This should be nothing for him.
Here you're going to make mention of that. And as Carrie Burtnick said, if you only get one leave the shooter, that's okay too.
Yeah, they want to control the top of the rings. Starting to finish, but not quite enough. And he leaves it right there.
Okay, Rob. Throw.
No. Stop.
Quite a turnaround. The fortunes for Jeff Stoughton have really picked up the last couple ends. 2 deuces back to back. Now counting one right in the top of the forefoot and laying a second guard on it.
No, no. Looks big.
Whoa.
Gary
Stop, guys.
Vandenberg guarding on the out turn.
No.
Halfway.
Halfway's good.
Halfway between the hog and the rings.
Yep.
Get a little closer to the center line. Just what they wanted.
Good shot.
Hogging it up again. Jeff Stoughton seems like a different, it's a whole different foursome now. You know, they seem to be in a bit of a funk there through that first 4 ends.
Easy way.
Giving up a steal of 2 in the second, that steal of 1 in the fourth. But they've snapped back ever since getting that 2 and then the steal of 2 in the sixth.
What I really like about Jeff Stoughton is his attitude. He doesn't get too down, particularly on his team. Like Jonathan Meade had 3 misses in a row. Jeff didn't get down on him though. You know, and now they come back.
And yet we see him make a great shot in the sixth, as you called it, the shot of perhaps the game.
And all the way through 1996 when they won the Worlds, that was his trademark. He always stayed high on his team, always kept the confidence level of the team up there, and that's so important in a skip.
I think tap, eh?
Sure.
Like a tap?
Sure, it's just my normal draw weight.
Okay.
He's been heavy all game, so he can throw this one. He figures a little bit heavy again, but the tap will take some of the weight off his shooter and give him a perfect raise. Curling 75%, but made a big shot last end after missing some fairly easy draws.
Got room.
Whoa, whoa.
Whoa! No line, no line, no line. No line, no line.
There it comes. It's starting to move.
Well,
And he
for
gets
no
it.
line, he gets it hidden a little bit behind the guard. Gets one in the rings.
Yeah, it's not a big counter, but it blocks the yellow rays.
Okay.
Jeff Ryan set to go. Very quick out of the hack.
Yeah, low numbers for Jeff Ryan. Usually very good in the draw and the hit and roll.
Hard line. Hard, hurry. Lots of weight. Whoa. Yeah. Whoa, 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 whoa.
It should finish, but he has plenty of weight.
Oh, maybe 2. Well, no, it's got enough to put the brakes on.
And it cuts in nice at the end.
All of a sudden, coming into the house, it looked almost a little too heavy.
Well, he got a 3/4 berry, so it came in real nice. Jonathan Meade just has to follow it down. Doesn't want to be heavy here. Even a foot short of the shot stone certainly blocks things up for Burtnick.
Hard. Hard. Hard.
And that looks tight. They're going on it real hard.
Hard.
Leaning on those brushes all the way. And that's moving.
Come on, right up. Keep going, keep going.
And he crashes into the guard big time and
Okay, John.
rolls over. So having a little trouble with the line and the weight.
So Burtnick is shot here in the 7th end. He has the hammer,
Not bad.
which may or may not be a good thing the way this game
Great
has
if you
developed.
can get in here. I think we gotta try it.
Well, that's a fine assortment of disorganized granite in front of the rings there.
That's a great way to phrase it.
There's really nothing set up for a good angle raise anywhere. Ryan looking for 2 in a row.
Line! Hard! Hard line! Real hard! Hard! Hurry! Come on! Hard! Whoa, whoa!
through, yes, but not the way he had hoped. His drives a redstone into the 12-foot.
And he opens it up.
But is there enough room there? That's a narrow hole there.
No, I think that's good, yeah. You like the end or the out? Oh, that's going to roll out. Sure. I think you can roll out. You like the end?
I like the end.
Right here? I think so. Which one do we want to hit? I guess we want to hit that one, eh?
Yeah, because we might win.
Might go.
Normal?
I think up. I think up.
Jeff Stoughton would like to sneak through this port and remove the shot stone, but as we talked earlier in the end, what's the smart miss here? And they certainly don't want to hit that yellow, come over and raise that one in. So he's saying if we want to tick anything, we want to tick that yellow there. Try and miss smart here if we can.
That's not just sneaking through. That's trying to put 38-inch waist in a 34-inch pair of pants.
He's going to have to throw this hard to be able to control the line.
Hard! 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 Hooray! Hard! Hooray!
It's got to get by. Oh, my goodness, he's done it.
Oh, right through the hole. Just a brilliant shot by Jeff Stoughton.
That pair of pants fits. Jeff Stoughton does the job. Terrific.
Perfect line all the way through this, just absolutely perfect, and right through the hole, bing, it's there no more.
That brings a smile from Jonathan Meade.
He says, yes, Skipper, you keep shooting like that, we got a chance.
Thought that shot was fraught with danger. Kind of like setting up a little Twilight Zone music there. Dun, dun, dun.
He's had a strong game, 89%. Let's see what he learned from the Stoughton shot. Obviously, you know, he would like to play the same kind of weight. Feels that is what he would know the best, just having seen it.
Well, coming out with a little heat of his own is Carrie Burtnick. He's got the same line as Jeff Stoughton.
A little wider. Now they go. And he's through the hole, and he's got the roll, too.
He's got the roll that's hidden.
And he shot stone. What a shot by Carrie Burtnick.
Well, you see it once, that's great. You see it twice, that's terrific.
You do it, I'll do it better.
Kind of like a fencing match. Parry and thrust. And
well, there's no way to get at that stone of Carrie Burtnick's. It's hidden in behind 5 stones on the left side of the sheet.
so this changes the picture a little bit.
A draw through the hole, that tiny port that they both came through on the in turn. Now to draw through it on the out turn. Difficult out-turn shot here because it's both weight and line. They both have to be perfect. Doesn't want to raise the yellow end. And there it starts to move. Could get a little rub off the yellow. They're sweeping for the rub. And they get it.
And this is going to come
what
in
a great
for
call.
shot.
What a great call by Jonathan Meade. Often a rub is better than a straight tuck in behind, and they get the little tick.
Well, we saw Burtnick follow Stoughton the first time. Does he follow him again? Go for this little tick, and here it is, a shot from Jeff Stoughton. in the 7th end.
It's an alert third that sees it at the end and says, well, we're not going to curl enough for the total tuck, so we get the little rub.
Could see him move, too.
Oh, and he plays it at the end beautifully and right in behind cover.
I think we gotta go regular.
Hey?
Spot's got to curl.
Yeah.
Maybe that's enough.
The shot's here. Burtnick just has to hit it where he wants. Playing a double angle raise. Wants to hit about half or 2/3 of the red onto the yellow, straight across onto the shot red stone. Could be a 2-ender, but he's got to hit this absolutely perfect.
Just a hair more.
Well, it's on its way. Angle raise for 2. No move so far. It's not curling for him.
Got to get it to go. 1, 2.
And almost raises the red in for another, but a steal of 1 red for Jeff Stoughton.
Steal of 1 for Stoughton, so the hammer hasn't paid off at all, really, in this match. And it's now 5-3 in favor of Jeff Stoughton.
It has the most powerful Vortec engine ever made. 4-wheel disc anti-lock brakes standard. And the largest, most comfortable cab we've ever built.
Finish up the plastic tonight. We're doing seismic checks and taking courses. What? Your truck's here. Good. They said they'd drop it off.
The totally redesigned Sierra by GMC. Now that's a truck, I'll say.
An infinite number of monkeys on an infinite number of typewriters will eventually define all that is Canada.
Gentlemen, down south, we have trouble following your puck. So what we want to do is introduce this blue streak on screen every time someone passes the puck. And when they shoot it, red streak. Blue pass, red shoot. You get it, boys?
Dinner shouldn't take longer to buy than it does to prepare. Everything it takes to make a meal like this, you can get in minutes. Small, fast, friendly, and helpful. M&M Meat Shops. Hundreds of quality meal ideas. One aisle.
The GMC World Curling Tour works because of the sponsors and the local sponsors here in London. World Pitch and Putt Corporation Incorporated and the London Free Press. They're on hand with a reporter here keeping track of each and every rock and sport fun. Along with the title sponsors, M&M Meats, here at the M&M Charity Classic, and we may have another edge shot. Ed Lukowicz.
A nice throw here by Jeff Stoughton. Feels that he can steal another point here and throws the rock real well. The sweeper's just keeping it clean. But the thing here is the call, the great call by Jonathan Meade. The rock seems to be hanging a little bit out. At this point, right after the hog line, Jonathan Meade sees the chance for a chip. He yells the sweep, and the sweepers buy into it, and they get on it, and there it goes, perfectly hidden right under the corner of the button. Great call.
What did you call that? An amazing collection of disorganized granite? Well, boy, he organized it neatly to take the one out of that and move into the 8th end with a 2-point lead.
Clean. Lots there. Stay with us. We're moving hard. Okay, well, you're right. Full 8. Full. Come on.
Sir, come on.
Jeff would like this right in the top 8, top 4 foot. And they get it there. For Carrie Burtnick's team, you know, the wheels kind of fell off. They jumped into an early 3-0 lead. Now they're down 5-3. Probably they're pretty disheartened by kind of having, you know, given the farm away so cheap, but the game's not over yet. 1-2-ender for Kerry here and takes the game tied into the 9th inning. So he's been in this situation many times before, being the veteran he is with the veteran team. You know, they're going to be tough the rest of the way.
Well, that's really moved. It's picked something up coming across the center line.
Yeah, just play a corner guard. Coming by the GMC logo. Play the corner guard and set things up for the rest of the end. I spoke with Jeff Stoughton about this exact shot before the game, and I said, when you play it into the rings, they throw the corner, what do you do? And he says, well, I guard. I like to stay on the offense, stay after it.
Little out there. Yep. No, line's good, line's good, line's good. It's tight. Yep.
It's starting to come.
Yeah, and it's coming right into the rings. A little deeper than he wanted.
Okay, Doug. Shot, Doug.
And as we look through the lead numbers through 7 ends of play, Keith Fenton is at 80%
bumping back
for Carrie Burtnick. Doug Armstrong's at 88% for the Stoughton team.
Yeah, but his 94% is throwing a lot of guards out in front of the rings and when they were behind. He's had a tough hit game at 50%. Normally, he's very strong at both.
Yep. 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 Hard.
Keith Fenton.
Line. Hurry. Come on.
Burtnick playing the tap, moving these rocks around.
Gotta keep going.
They got to stay on it, though, to get a piece of the red one.
Yeah, that's good rock.
Shot. Not a bad shot. Rolled their yellow over, but they have set up a potential freeze situation at the top of the 4 for their next stone. Stoughton recognizing that would like to roll the shooter there and disturb the other 2 reds.
Asking for normal weight from Gary Vandenberg.
Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
Would like some action on the roll. Right in front.
Good shot.
That's a good stone.
Good shot, Gary.
Makes the the freeze in there a little bit tougher for the Burtnick team.
Play back here. What am I hitting?
Kerry describing that shot exactly to us. Move the reds back. Wants to keep his yellow directly in front of the reds, making it difficult for the Jeff Stoughton team to remove the yellow stone that's coming down the rings now.
Good. Nice weight. Whoa. Stay with it. Leave it. Yeah. Hard. Come on. Hurry, roll it, Keith. Roll it. Hurry.
Wants to roll. He's
Attaboy.
messed things up a little bit and has redistributed. That yellow is behind a guard as we look at the numbers for the seconds.
Yeah, either or is
92% for Gary Vandenberg.
Yeah, very strong percentage there. Rob Meakin down a little bit on his hits in this game.
Gary Vandenberg was part of the 96 World Championship team with Jeff Stoughton. This team has changed up as we watch his second delivery. Ken Tresser, Gary Vandenberg, and Steve Gould teaming with Jeff Stoughton for that World Championship.
Big weight here from Gary Vandenberg going after the double. Doesn't quite get it. Didn't mind taking a few of his own, but definitely wanted the yellow, which he did not get.
Wouldn't hurt to sort of just hit that and roll here and just move this over a few inches. Sure. Game just come here and just bump it a little. Yeah. What are we playing? Well, we're playing just to come into this side of it somewhere. Okay. You want enough to move it, like you need T-line back 4.
Rob Meakin bumped that red stone back.
Come on. Hard. Greg. It's curling too much. Hard.
Now this was moving real hard early.
Let it curl. Whoa.
Might work out though, as long as they get by the guard.
Roll it, keep. Roll it. Hard.
Rolls in behind the guard, a slight roll.
2 red stones as shot in second.
Any space between them?
Yeah, just a bit.
I'm not going to trust my eyesight anymore. Is it 1, 2, 3 red?
I believe
Eagle
so.
eye?
Yeah, it's 3 red. There you
Got to get my prescription.
go. Jonathan Meade being asked to throw big weight here. Only wants to hit an inch or two of the top yellow, make the double. This has been a notoriously straight spot during the event.
Good shot.
Oh, he makes it perfectly, just the right amount.
Clears out the 2 yellow stones.
Boy, he had low percentages early in the game, but he's made it up for it with some beautiful shots and last few ends. Through the weight. 1.5 inches of the top one, springs both of them out.
Got his game going with a great shot in the 6th, and then that nice call in the 7th. As we look at the 3rd, 73% through 7 for Jonathan Meade, 70% for Jeff Ryan. You're saying kind of low for Jeff Ryan in this game.
Yeah, and also low for Jonathan Meade, but he's made the big shots in the last couple ends.
Hurry hard. Come on. Hurry in. All the way. All the way. Never leave it. Come on. Hurry. Hurry.
Jeff Stoughton lying 3 there right in the 4-foot. A little bit of disgust and disbelief there from Jeff Ryan.
I think we're still okay this way.
Sure.
Throw peel.
Well, I'm not sold on this shot. I would like to see Jeff Ryan come into the top 4-foot, protect those 3 that he has in there. There's a bit of a basket to freeze to there, and if he hits and rolls away here, he leaves that for Burtnick.
He's calling peel.
Good.
And the 2 of them do roll out. Now Jeff Ryan has a shot at the 3 red stones.
Hey, you got a chance to redeem yourself.
Will I get to throw 10?
Just freeze in here.
Okay.
There it
We'll
is.
go the other turn.
He's not real high on himself right now, Jeff Ryan. Feels he's throwing a couple bad ones.
Asks for an out turn
Gotta be here. Good
to
line.
freeze to
Got a
what
little
you
bit of
called
room.
the basket of red.
Lots of weight.
Lots of weight.
Wow.
Yeah, he does have lots.
Wow.
There it's coming down.
Whoa! Whoa! I know it's good.
Just wants to tap the top one an inch, and you can't get that one out now.
8 ends.
8 ends made a draw.
I couldn't miss.
I think we just get here.
Can I smooth this one back? No.
Yeah, I think we do it.
Yeah.
I feel like the outfit.
Not really.
Yeah, we've got to stay on the inside. What kind of weight?
I think through. Through house, I think is.
Okay.
Yeah. Through house for sure.
Okay.
The way this yellow one is sitting there, frozen, locked in between those 2 reds, you couldn't get that out with a jackhammer. What he's decided to do is just play back ring weight. Jeff is going to come on the in turn, just move the yellow back, get rid of the red, and then sit the red in front of the yellow. Just change the situation around to his advantage.
If it curls too much, is that a disaster?
Yeah, it certainly would be. He wants to stay on the high side, the pro side of this rock. So they got to keep it clean right out of his hand. He's throwing light, hack to light forward.
Whoa! Yes, him! Hooray! Whoa! Yes! Whoa!
and he just rolls off a hair. Just hits and rolls a touch more than he wanted. He just wanted to stay directly in front of the yellow.
Carrie Burtnick was a winner at the Molson Winnipeg Classic 2 weeks ago that you saw on CTV Sportsnet, and this is coming off quite an off season that you never would have expected.
Back in July, I had an operation. I had a benign tumor removed, and it was kind of a scary time for a couple of months in my life, and it puts things in perspective. But at the same time, health-wise, the news has been really good, so it's been great, and I feel fine and normal, and you know, my day-to-day life has not changed at all, and going forward, I don't think it will be either. So I will be monitored a little bit over the next couple of years just to make sure, but everything looks really good.
Tumor was on his head, and they had to do a skin graft to fill in. But he is happy and healthy right now and playing extremely well.
I'll sort of somewhere through the house. Heavy draw.
And taking at least $6,000 home.
He's in the money now, but would like to make more.
This is the $6,000 step. Would like to move to the $8,000 or perhaps $14,000 step with a victory here.
With back ring weight, Carrie Burtnick would like to come to the inside of the red, tap it back, tap the other red back just a touch, keep the reds behind his yellow. Starting to move, they're going to have to go hard, but the line looks good.
Hard all the way!
Sweeping right to it.
Chips it away and is shot rocked.
He's line one, but he rolled just that hair more than he wanted.
As we get through the seventh end numbers for the skips, Carrie Burtnick's at 84%, 94 on his draws. Jeff Stoughton's at 80%. Pretty much balanced on draws and hits.
Jeff struggled early, and Kerry's played great the whole game. Kerry hasn't had quite the help that he would normally have gotten from his third man, Jeff Ryan, and Kerry's really kept his team in the game all the way.
Carrie Burtnick with the hammer, down by 2.
A very fine double here for Jeff Stoughton. Only can afford to hit about an inch or two of these two Yellowstones. And it cut too much for him, and he springs over the top, leaves Burtnick lying one.
Well, with Carrie Burtnick for a shot at 2 to tie.
Carrie Burtnick is playing a draw right to the button to get his second point and tie up the game. Doesn't want to play the hit on the red because he feels if he hit it on the back one, he might spin it in for shot stone. So has decided the smart shot is draw the button.
We just saw the draw percentage for Carrie Burtnick, so he certainly had the touch. Last rock, 8th end. Burtnick down by 2.
Well, I put money on him here. When he's got his draw weight, looks like lots of weight there. But when he's got his draw weight, he's really very accurate with it.
We saw his draw weight 2 weeks ago when he beat Jeff Stoughton in Winnipeg.
The handle's going a little flat on that rock, and it's a little fudgy in the middle.
Now they want the brakes, and it is on and takes 2.
Very nice shot, ties the game.
Tied at 5 after 8 ends in London, Ontario. The M&M Charity Classic.
Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails.
This first one? Yeah. You never forget your first one.
We fix them right, so the next time your car needs service, you'll bring it back.
He'll be back, big guy.
Till we meet
We love cars.
Break it down.
What's it really like?
Yeah. Break it down.
Yes. I'd like to get some mutual funds.
Okay, Mr. Wheeler, you kindly put your head in the vice and we'll get started. Now, when I say the letters FI, I'm referring to bond funds, S equities, and C, well, money markets. Now, let's take a peek at a few of the funds available to you and how their standard deviations compare to their compounded annual returns. Before we calculate...
There is a quick and painless way to get the right mix of mutual funds. Matchmaker, available at Bank of Montreal. It doesn't have to be complicated.
My daughter is a ski instructor and has to drive 100 kilometers to work. One day it was so snowy she couldn't see but 2 feet in front of her face when this car spun out ahead of her. She kept control while the car behind her went into the ditch. It was only because the car had Blizzaks that I let her drive alone.
Now get Bridgestone Blizzak in 2 tread designs, Ice Gripper or Winter Biter. More options for total control this winter. Blizzak by Bridgestone, the winter tire that sticks to ice.
You know, if you're getting that urge for something late night, maybe you could check out Sammy's. All right, now, Stoughton's trying to close the door on Burtnyk, but then a quick pair by Burtnick in the 8th tied things up. 5-5, 2 ends to play. Here in London, Ontario at the Highland Country Club. M&M Meat Shop sponsoring a terrific event here. $46,000 in prize money, $14,000 to the winner. And right now, one of these two teams trying to fight their way into the championship against Wayne Meade.
Two great teams here, tied after 8 ends, 5-5. 9th and 10th ends left. I want to talk for a second about the strategy. For Carrie Burtnick, he wants to force a count here. He would like to steal one or force Jeff Stoughton to one, but wants to force a count, does not want the blank in, but doesn't want to also bend over backwards, forcing the count and say give Stoughton 2 or 3 easy points. For Jeff Stoughton, early in the end, I think he wants to skip the game, keeping the blank alive, the possibility alive, but if too many rocks come into play, then he has to go then for the 2 or 3 ender. Jeff can't go after the blank strategy right away, so decides to draw in behind on his first stone. Has come a little deep though, and this certainly offers an opportunity for Carrie Burtnick to ask Keith Fenton to just freeze right in there. Keith's been light a number of times. This one's hanging and sounds light again for the sweepers.
Very hard now. It's really going. Come on, hard. Very hard. Right up, guy. Very hard. Far as it'll go. Far as it'll go. Right up. A little more. Come on. Right up, right up.
Hard sweeping, bringing that into the 8-foot.
Shot.
Bump weight for Doug Armstrong.
Hit.
Wants to hit and roll right in behind the center.
Hooray! Whoa!
Oh.
Okay, good.
Doesn't get the guard, just peels it away.
Well, that certainly does keep the blank alive for Jeff Stoughton down the line.
Yeah.
He gave tight ice on the shot, so maybe he was looking for that possibility. Carrie Burtnick's not too worried right at this point as to who has shot stone. He wants to establish
another center guard. He wants a center guard in play so that he can take away the blank and look for the steal. If he doesn't get the steal, he wants to force Jeff Stoughton into a single point. A lot of games, that's one of the toughest situations to skip, is one up coming home without, so he would like to force Stoughton into that situation.
Carrie Vandenberg, first of his stones here, and then number 9.
Clean. No. Okay,
The single peel, keeping it quite clean for the start of the end. I like the way that Jeff is skipping the beginning of this end. He's keeping it rather simple, looking for the possibility of a blank. We'll look to see if he changes his strategy if more rocks get into play.
More room. Gonna work if you can. A little later. Come on.
Let it sweep it.
Come on. Ours will go. Ours will go.
Keith Fenton and Jeff Ryan working on that one, bringing it over the hog line. Placing another center guard.
Good shot. Good shot.
And willing just to clean this away again, so Carrie Burtnick has nothing to come around and hide behind.
Good.
Out turn peel, hits and rolls away.
Like the same thing? It's either that or that. Play the guard. Yeah, I like that.
I also like that. I like the call. Jeff Stoughton sort of has set what he wants to do here. It looks like he wants to play it clean, so why not throw another center guard and try and force the issue?
Jeff Ryan comes out of the hack.
Whoa, guys. Good line. Line
A
only.
little whoa.
Whoa. Clean. Right.
Kind of bailed out on the center line. Well, the winner of this match will play Wayne Meade tomorrow in the championship, looking for the $14,000 winner's check. 7 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Central. The M&M Meat Shops Charity Classic, part of the GMC World Curling Tour. Hope you can join us here on CTV Sportsnet.
And the winner of this game faces quite a task. Wayne Meade so far in this fall season, 26-1. Looking for his 4th straight title. Looking to put more cash in the bank. Meade, you know, playing just unbelievable so far this year. So the winner of this game is going to have to come up real big to challenge him. Switching now to the freeze.
Good. Yeah. Hard. For line. Hard. Line. Good weight. Yeah. Good weight. It's there. Whoa. Yeah. Yeah. Hard. Hard.
Good judgment by the sweepers.
Hard. Hard. Hard.
Gets by and looks like it's going to freeze right to the red stone. Very close.
Hey, great shot. Nice weight, good angle.
Made Jeff Ryan smile. He hasn't been too happy with his curling in this game. As he said, it took him 8 ends to find his draw weight. And now here comes Jonathan Meade, who
looking for a double. Wants to hit one yellow across the face of the other yellow. And it looks like he's got it. Beautiful shot.
It out perfect.
But does he stay?
Does not. There's one red stone counting. Red stones belong to Jeff Stoughton. Look again.
Oh, good sweep, good call. Straight back, picks it across the face. Both the yellows are gone. Would have liked to have stayed, but the rollout does keep the blank alive, so I think right now Jeff Stoughton is happy with what he sees.
Well, Jonathan Meade has certainly tuned up his game. Made a great shot in the 6th and then a great call in the 7th.
Yeah, he kind of forgot to show up for about the first 5 ends, but with that shot he made in 6, and since then he has just been the star on the ice, and he's made everything.
Yeah, come on then.
This is the freeze coming from Carrie Burtnick.
Yeah. Hard, hard. Hurry.
Jeff Ryan coming out to
Come on,
help.
hurry. Hard all the way. Never leave it. Come on, far as it'll go, guys. Hurry hard, far as it'll go. Come on, hard, hurry hard.
All right, not bad. Shot Stone directly in front of the red.
They worked that one in. And Jeff Stoughton is going to just peel it away as he backs up.
Jeff Stoughton wants to remove the yellow. Doesn't really care about his own back red if he happens to clip it out and remove the yellow as well, even if he rolls away with a shooter. All of that helps him to play the blank on his next stone. What he doesn't want to do is hit this one straight back onto the red, leave it right there. So we'll see lots of weight here from Jeff Stoughton on the in turn. There it's curling. It's really moving. And it's straight back and rolls to the side.
Now Stoughton is shot. Burtnyk is second. What's your frame of reference here? You set up...
Well, I thought he threw it pretty well, but man, that rock really curled around the center line. And this is a big miss for Jeff because he played for the blank. Now he's going to be lucky to get the blank. He's not happy with that.
Oh, man. I'm paraphrasing. Now for Carrie Burtnick, a bit of a door has just opened up for him.
You heard him. He doesn't want to overthrow it. Just a nice hit and stay.
Yeah.
You know they're going to be watching this, especially with the action you get on the center line.
They're starting to move. They got to go harder. He's going to roll out. They held it up.
And 2 now. Counting for the Burtnick foursome. As Jeff Stoughton takes a look at preparing to throw his final stone in the 9th end. So the blank end disappears, and now can he clean away everything?
Pretty close. We're doing
intern. Yeah.
intern?
Yeah.
Got to have a little meat to it, though, if he's throwing the intern, doesn't he?
Yeah, there's 2 ways he could be playing this shot. Straight back for the double. But what Jeff would really like to do is have the rock over curl a little bit, only a third, blank over the top, but that's a very tricky call.
Final stone, 9th end, tied at 5. Oh.
There it comes, shooting for the double. Jeff Stoughton.
Whoa. Yep.
Going to be satisfied now just with the straight on. And who shot Stone?
Well, now there might be another measure here. Come on, Eagle Eye. You've picked out 2 so far, I think. Now let's try this one.
Not this time, buddy.
Not at this point of the game.
This one's too close. But the winner in that end, Carrie Burtnick. He wanted to force a count on that end. Doesn't matter who gets the 1 here. He forced the count. Got away from the blank end.
And they're going to measure one more time. It's easier this way.
Well, Falsey, what do we got here? Who shot?
Oh, I'm not even guessing now. I'm afraid to drive home now. I missed the last one that counted 2. The 5th end.
Well, you can see from our overhead that is extremely close.
I'm going to say.
I think you're right on this one, Jim.
Okay, we've got one call for red. And, okay, what are you saying?
I'm putting a nickel on red.
Put a nickel on red. Okay.
I would say
It's the yellow. Yellow marks one. So Carrie Burtnick steals one in the 9th. So here it is, one up with the hammer coming home in London, Ontario.
The road traveled by the used vehicle buyer is getting smoother. With Optimum from General Motors, where surprises are avoided. Where you enjoy inspection, certification, and the protection of warranty coverage. General Motors' commitment to you doesn't end when you drive off. It begins. Relax. The road ahead is Optimum.
Dinner shouldn't take longer to buy than it does to prepare. Everything it takes to make a meal like this, you can get in minutes. Small, fast, friendly, and helpful. M&M Meat Shops. Hundreds of quality meal ideas. One aisle.
This is our arena, admission is free. This is our ice time, no referee. Maybe not professional, chasing box way down the hill. So watch out when our home team gets to me. This is our beer. This is our beer.
Well, we've seen the edge before. Here's another one that may be one of the points we'll ponder when it's all over. Final stone at 9th end.
Carrie Burtnick line 2. Jeff Stoughton going for the double. Just squeaks it by the back one. And yes, the yellow is shot stone, and Carrie Burtnick steals 1 point.
Well, you take a look at it, you try to eyeball it. Ooh, it was yellow. And that may be what determines it all. As you've said many times, you don't want to be one up without in the 10th.
The reason for that is that it's a tough end to skip, and you only have to miss one shot to give the team with the hammer 2 points and the victory. So it's very difficult to figure whether you should play offense or defense, and a late miss in the end and the game is gone.
Stay with it. Yep. Yep. Okay, good rock.
6-5 the score. Carrie Burtnick leading in the 10th end, but Stoughton does have the hammer.
Keith Fenton bringing that stone right into the 4-foot. I've got a sneaking suspicion Burtnick's going to try and guard that one for the rest of the end.
Lead. Come on.
Here's a question for you, and I imagine a lot of club curlers would ask the same. If you've got the lead without the hammer, why would you just throw that first stone through and not clutter?
Yeah, you could toss it through, but then your opponent throws the corner guard, which you cannot remove on the 3-rock rule. So all of a sudden, they have the winning guard to draw behind, a corner guard, and then they go after their 2. So Carrie Burtnick's playing it smart here. First rock into the forefoot, let the opponent throw the corner guard. Now Kerry comes with the center guard, goes for the steal in the wind.
Whoa! Up here. Clean it. Clean, clean. Just clean it. Yep. 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 Good shot. Good boy.
Well, there it is. Two guards now up there as the 10th end starts to take shape. Great hockey action coming your way Tuesday night. Sportsnet has got the Buffalo Sabres visiting the New York Rangers. Dominic Hasek against Wayne Gretzky. There's our team set to go. 5:30 Mountain Time. Nobody brings the story on your team to TV like our team.
Oh, we're not bad. Come on. It's there. Oh, it's there. Yep.
Outturn come around for Doug Armstrong.
Stay with it. Yep. Come on. Hard.
Needs that rock to finish.
Hard.
And you'll notice that one stopped pretty close when it was getting into the rings, and it's getting a little flat right in that area.
Up there is okay too.
Well, we're going to see a dandy finish here. Both teams have decided to go for it in this last in. Burtnyk up 6-5, but doesn't have the hammer. That belongs to Stoughton.
Close, yeah, it's gonna. Whoa, wait for it. Wait for it. Now, yeah. Whoa. Yeah. Hard. Yeah. Hard. Hard.
Rock slowing down quickly, so they're staying on it.
Right down. Great shot.
Hey, they're going to like that. Right in the top of the 8-foot, controlling that part of the rings.
Well, Rob Meakin was instrumental in setting up Burtnyk for a victory over Stoughton October 12th at the Molson Winnipeg Classic 2 weeks ago. It was our debut of the World Curling Tour on CTV Sportsnet. Another good shot by the young man.
Wait only. Whoa. Stay close.
Usually a lot of move on this outturn.
Yep. Whoa.
Gary Vandenberg's outturn.
Whoa.
So they're having to wait on it. He'd like to move the Yellowstone right to the back ring, but he isn't moving fast enough here, not curling, so just playing the angle freeze at the last.
Shot, Gary.
Line is all important here for Rob Meakin. Must get by that center guard. Could either guard or come in tight right on top of the red.
Clean.
Line's good. Wait
How's
only.
the weight?
Whoa.
Good.
Whoa. Whoa.
Over line. It's on its own.
Lots of weight.
Lots of weight, Gary.
Lots of weight.
Got a girl.
Never. No. Never.
Yeah, needed a little more curl. I was surprised to see that rock not finish as much as it normally has.
Well, the Burtnyk stone is shot. Stoughton is second. But here's this cluster that you start to talk about.
Well, they're playing the yellow straight back onto the red, onto the yellow.
That? Do you want to play? Bumper on this? Did we get to it? What? Did we get to it? Sure. I don't have my glasses.
Gary's not too sure about his prescription either.
Back weight.
Well, I'd like to see a little more weight here on this outturn. You know, I think they could play at least sport. They got to watch this doesn't go early on them.
Whoa! Off. Good. No, right off, right off, right off. No.
Well, he must have been a little out, and here it's coming at the end.
Good.
And red is now shot with the bing, bing, bing.
Shot.
Might be first and second shot. Now, if you've got any questions or comments and you'd like to check out the website, the World Curling Tour website, www.wctour.com. Timeout has been called by Carrie Burtnick. And they are allowed 2 1-minute timeouts in the 75-minute time limit they have right now with Burtnyk with 8 minutes remaining. And he having a good look at what his options are.
Great thoughts. I could just come down and bump that up to their rock, but that rock there is going to come back to haunt us.
Which one?
The one at the top 4. If we bump that up, chances are he's going to be able to blast them. I don't know what else we can do though.
Not much.
I mean, it would be great if you could hit that, roll over and bump that in, but that's not really great either. You know, if you don't make it right, we're dead. Let's play to either bump. If you hang a little, you can bump it there.
Okay.
Even if you overcut, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah. Okay.
So it looks like the bump is the option.
Freeze in, he says. Just tap it a foot or two.
Just like back 4. Yeah.
I just heard 3 options. Bump it, chip it, freeze it.
Yeah, the situation in the rings right now is sitting advantage Stoughton. Rocks are sitting a little bit nicer for him.
There. Hurry. Whoa. Is it heavy? Yeah. Hard. Hurry. Hard. Hurry.
So that one's starting to move.
Hard. Whoa.
And he taps yellow on a red.
And now the yellow is shot. Stone. (6-5) the score. Burtnyk leading in the 10th, but Stoughton has the hammer.
Burtnick mentioned during the last shot that the problem stone was that red one right on the center line, just at the very top of the 4-foot. That's almost an impossible rock to remove right now. And you know, Stoughton obviously, if he can clear away these yellows, that red one then becomes the chief stone in there and dominates the rest of the end.
I mean, we could end up sitting. I don't know. It's thin though, eh?
We can try that. What's that?
It's thin, eh?
Yeah, the only thing is, yeah, you might hit this and it might come back here.
You think it would?
What's that?
Yeah.
So the top yellow in the 8-foot is one option.
It's just
but now they're starting to look more at that red in the 12-foot.
Yeah, and I don't like that at this point. I think they have to make a play on the 2 yellows.
Which turn are we playing?
Main thing is where.
It has the most powerful Vortec engine ever made. 4-wheel disc anti-lock brakes standard, and the largest, most comfortable cab we've ever built.
Yeah, what? Your truck's here. Good. They said they'd drop it off.
The totally redesigned Sierra by GMC. Now that's a truck, I'll say.
Dinner shouldn't take longer to buy than it does to prepare. Everything it takes to make a meal like this, you can get in minutes. Small, fast, friendly, and helpful. M&M Meat Shops. Hundreds of quality meal ideas. One aisle.
Wish you had a cell phone? Get this Motorola free at Radio Shack on any Cantel AT&T 12-month plan. Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers.
I'm not shy exactly. I'm
Inhibited?
reserved. Show me the money! Show me the money! Oh, no. I'm not a games person.
No, soup for you!
I'm not a TV or movie buff.
Deblain! Out to see Highland!
It's the new game, Act 1. Read the lines.
Shrimp kebab, shrimp gumbo. Next one. Life is like a box of chocolate.
Guess the title. Act 1, now playing in living rooms everywhere.
Well,
It's not bad.
It's sure
Even
less.
if I hit,
You want to hit the red one first, actually.
Yeah?
If you hit the red one first, it's going to leave that yellow there.
I like that.
Yeah, I think that's the best shot.
Yeah.
Well, the smart shot here, just a little tap on the yellow. That's sitting right in between the two reds.
Here.
Ah, maybe a hit. Yeah, coming with big weight.
Clean. Yep. Hard.
Little smoke here. Try to hold the line. And
Coming
it
off the red.
comes off the red.
Oh, super shot. Oh, great shot.
Bumps in. There's 2 yellow stones.
Wow, that turned out well. Jeff Ryan makes a great shot on the last end, redeems himself, had a bit of an off game all the way, makes the big one at the end. Two yellows in the 4-foot, 2 yellows up top of the 12 at the top of the 8 in the 12-foot.
This one might be better, John. You can get this, come across.
Hit what I can see kind of thing.
Yeah.
Peel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do we lose our red one at the back?
No.
Well, the options have been laid out, and now they're taking another look at it.
Come off our own, but we probably won't be shot rock, and they're still
Leave them
buried.
right.
They're still buried. Right?
Yeah. What do we got for time? We got lots.
What's that? I think you played this.
Okay.
Peel. All right, Rob, going to be lots of yellow granite flying around here.
If he makes this one. But hasn't that been well, I guess if you throw enough weight, that's going to stay on the line, but it has been dropping off the center line.
Yeah, he wants as much weight here as he can muster. Wants to hit the yellow, chip it off the one right beside it, spin it back, see if he can get rid of the rocks in the 4-foot.
So basically ramming speed.
He's got to have lots of speed on this one, lots of volume.
Jonathan Meade coming out of the hack.
They're holding it real well with a sweeping.
He comes up, makes 1, 2, 3. Everything moves, and the yellow is still shot, but certainly cleaned things out.
Well, it's a big shot. He gave Jeff a chance here in this end now. Jonathan coming through with a real big shot. And when you look here, it takes the one yellow off the other one right beside it, and it actually would have gone all the way, but it rubs off the red and stays. And he knows he's made a real big shot here. Would have liked to have got them all.
Yeah, we can give him the videotape later so he can see exactly what knocked his back rock out.
Well, that was a great call in picking that shot out, and he made it exactly the way he wanted. Just wasn't there to take all 4. It had to glance over onto the red and stay.
First of Carrie Burtnick stones.
Yeah, he's got his draw weight the whole game. He's just been letter perfect on his draws. They got to keep this clean right out of his hand. He's playing the side where he won't be setting up a double.
Two more. Easy. Clean. Where's the weight? Easy. Whoa, it looks like lots. Whoa. Whoa. Get ready. Yep. Whoa.
This is going to get by. It's
Sweepers are saying lots of weight, but
it's heavy.
Slowing down quickly now. and stops perfect right on the button. Would have liked to have been just a hair higher. And he may have left the other turn, the out turn for Jeff Ryan. Pardon me, Jeff Stoughton.
Leading by 1, Carrie Burtnick in the 10th. Stoughton with the hammer. His first stone of the 10th end.
Well, the Battle of Winnipeg has lived up to its billing. 6-5 coming home. 2 world champions, 95, 96. Sweeper's working hard on that one, keeping it clean now.
Yep. Whoa! 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 Close. Yes! Yep! Hard! Whoa! Whoa! Let it go.
And he taps it straight back. Shot stone.
Shot.
Timeout.
Just perfect weight by Jeff Stoughton.
Second and final timeout called by Carrie Burtnick.
Comes by the guard. Taps the shot, Yellowstone back. Now the reddish shot, and he keeps the yellow back there. Makes it very difficult for Burtnick to play on the red.
Play hack weight or something. Yeah, if you do that, he's got this. I mean, that's not easy, but.
Well, if I play this, there's a good chance I could roll there and leave him something too. Maybe not.
I don't think we can just leave him this.
I guess if we roll spin too far, he's got the. No, I guess. Let him try it. Well, even if we wreck, he doesn't have an easy shot.
I like that.
That counted the amount of the timeout down, so they're back on the clock once again. They have 3 minutes remaining to make this final shot for the Burtnick team in the 10th end.
Yeah, because I mean, with draw weight, I might just come on and bump it here, and then I'm not doing anything anyway.
And he has asked for the input of all the team members.
Yeah, a decision by committee here. Everyone gets to say what they think. But then in the end, it's Burtnick who has to make the final decision. And he's picked the out-turn hack weight, remove the red, and spin over on top of his second shot.
So you want to hit like third? Yeah.
Well, problem number 1 for Carrie Burtnick is removing that shot. Problem number 2 is where does his shooter go? He wants to roll it somewhere where he doesn't set up pretty well an automatic triple for Jeff Stoughton to count 2 and take away the win.
Final stone, 10th end for Carrie Burtnick.
Oh, great! Hard! Whoa! Whoa, 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 whoa!
It's not moving so far.
Whoa!
Now it's beginning to curl.
And it comes.
Lots of weight coming into the rings. Hits and rolls and spins. Oh, perfect shot. Took away any chance for a double for Jeff Stoughton. Nothing left for Stoughton. Simply to draw to the button for the tie.
And force extra end. 6-5. Carrie Burtnick leads in the 10th. Stoughton with his final stone. Must count one to force the extra end. This is what skips live for, right?
It's a tough shot to play because you know you can't win it here, but you've got to make it, give your team a chance to go that extra end and win. He's throwing lots of weight.
No, weight only. Weight only. Like it.
Hard! Hard! Hard!
That one's really starting to cut on him.
Oh, it's Mike Wreck on the...
And he rubs the guard.
Wreck's on the guard.
Through.
Counting 2 is Carrie Burtnick, and he wins. He comes up with a steal in the 10th end after Stoughton wrecks on the guard, and Carrie Burtnick advances. He beat him 2 weeks ago in our opener on CTV Sportsnet. He's done it here in the semifinals in London and moves on to face Wayne Meade in the final. Burtnick wins. He moves on in the G.